What is going on, Dumb Nation? Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. T.S. Dixon was on last week. Alan Donovan is on next week. We have the RSBN interview today, so we're not having a guest this week, but we will kick it back off with Mandy and Jack, Lisa Regina, and working on some other interviews coming up in the short term. Good to have everybody here. Busy day. A lot going on. Leroy is in the house. There's covering a lot tonight. We're going to get right to it. I'm going to fast forward through the pre-show, and so we have a little bit more time to show you guys the RSBN interview, and then we're going to get on it. We'll see you in 3 minutes. Hang tight. We'll be right back.
When you get a sec, check out my buddy Matthew Spear over there at the Dumb Show. Dumbshow.com. Get to see people like yours truly right here. Maybe that's the reason for you to not check it out. Check it out anyway. There's a lot of people better than me on there that a lot better stories. But check them out, dumbshow.com. Matt, take care, buddy. God bless you, everyone.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
You know, Leroy, we have a choice. We can either just do what we always do and dive into the news and just go right into it, or we can take a second and address something that I've wanted to express for quite a while, and I didn't know how to do it, and I think I need to come right out and just be honest about it and just full disclosure. So what do you think? Should we go right into full disclosure?
I think honesty is always the best policy, right?
Yeah, I do. I just wanted to let you know that I've been married for 26 years, living in sin for quite a few of those. And I have been hiding a deep, dark secret.
What's that?
And I'm a pedophile. I was a Nazi first, then a racist, then a homophobe, a transphobe, a sexist, xenophobic, knuckle dragger, Bible thumping, gun toting, red state flyover, uneducated, white fragility, male cock suppressor, and now I'm a pedo. It's like I had to finally just admit it. They cracked the code. They figured me out, and it feels so good to talk about this.
Tell me about that.
Leroy's echoey. Oh, hold on. I know why. Hold on a second. So hold on.
Oh boy.
How about now? Is Leroy echoey?
Check 1 2. How do I sound?
Okay, somebody tell me. Sorry, we're testing audio real quick. Damn it, this messes with the jokes. Gosh darn it. That's okay. Let me know if he's echoey. Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2.
You can always leave it to Julie, who's like she throws in the technical terms. He's reverberating. I don't know what that means, but I'll take it.
Sounds sexy. I don't know why you would be echoey.
I don't know.
Yes. Oh, I know what it is. I had changed the Zoom settings today. Hold on. For the Zoom meeting. Hold on one second, buddy.
We're good.
Audio. I'd come here. I can't hear you. What? Stay there. No, you don't. Not now. Just wait, please. Now go try. Can you hear that, Leroy?
Yep.
Okay. Test 1 2 3. Test. Test 1 2 3. Test. It's not you.
You sound fine to me.
I know, but I'm testing other things.
Gotcha.
Shut up, Leroy. God.
Shutting up.
Roger that. Okay, go ahead and talk, Leroy.
Check 1 2. How do I sound?
How's he doing, Liv?
I met a traveler from an antique land who said, two vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. How'd that sound?
I can't hear you from there. I don't know what to tell you, babe. I can't hear you with my noise-canceling headphones. What's up, sweetie? Okay, then I need you to stay right here. Leroy, just keep talking.
Check 1 2. Oh, Carrie's still saying that I'm echoing.
Yeah, I know. We got it. I got it.
Bad.
Checking.
Okay. Yep. No worries.
Keep talking.
Yep. I'll just do the whole damn thing. I met a traveler from an antique land who said two vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them, on the sand, half sunk, a shattered visage lies, whose frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command tell that its sculpture well those passions red which yet survive.
I can't hear you. Scream. Scream from now on, okay? Can't hear you. Anything you're saying. Don't know what you're saying. All right, I need everyone to just wait. Let me think.
Yeah. No worries.
Coming through main channel. You're on Pro Stereo 2. That's where that works fine. Going over to mic. Roadcast 2 Pro Chat. Try it now.
Check 1 2.
Yeah, don't. I love the poetic entourage, but can you just keep it simple, like row your boat for me? Because you're gonna make me nauseous listening to that shit again. Row your boat.
Wow.
It's
you
beautiful.
uncultured swine.
No, it's not that. It's literally. I'm trying to. I got it coming through here. It's like too much. I'm just. I'm gonna throw up. Liv. Okay. Yeah, I figured it out. Okay, good. Okay, can you close all my doors and turn off the lights? Thanks.
Okay.
All right. So okay, we're all the way back. So I'm a pedophile. Now, here's the thing. Some people call it a pedophile. Now, the reason why they call it a pedophile is because that's the way it's spelled in England and overseas. It's Peadophile. And that's the derivative of the word. But here it's pedo. You're a pedo because PED is podiatrist, pediatrician, ped stomper.
Well, that didn't work, pediatrician.
Well, but it's the derivative of the word.
Pediatrician.
It's not petty, right? But I'm just saying it's a derivative of the word. So they're all synonymous, is what I'm saying. I wasn't saying a pediatrician is a pediatrician. I'm saying a podiatrist or a pediatrician, which are same thing, have two different vernaculars because of the context of how you're using the word. I'm sorry. Were you being contentious just because I made fun of your poem? Okay. So what I'm trying to say is I believe it's pedophile, not pedophile. And just like aluminium or aluminum or potato or
Titanium, sure.
right, or tantalizing titulations or maturation or maturity. Now I say maturation because that's the proper way to say it, but it doesn't matter. The point is we're American and we get to set the rules. So it's pedophile, and it's not soccer, it's football. Okay, great. Right. So now we understand. No, well, you guys say it's soccer, and we have the real football. And people are like, well, wait a second, soccer's been around for thousands of years. We don't care.
We made it more violent and more fun.
Yeah, we don't care. We make more money than you do. So now that we've established that, well, I don't know, but probably World Soccer makes a shit ton of money. Those stadiums are all like 100. They probably do really well. Yeah, but it's still not exciting. I mean, the most exciting soccer game is literally like I just want to jump off of a cliff. I would rather watch golf in reverse. And it looks like a bunch of guys are just putting balls in a bag.
Right.
And leaving. Driving carts backwards. Okay, moving on. So I'm a pedophile. And I've learned to embrace these things because they don't mean that. What they mean for the name racist and pedophile and you're a homophobe and a transphobe is that I can't make a valid argument. So I am going to take the moniker I've applied to what I dislike the most about your party, and I'm going to apply it to all of you because it stops my brain from truly having to hurt, and have a conversation multiple times, hundreds of times, thousands of times with different people, because I'm not capable of having the patience and the understanding to understand that everybody's different. So I'm just going to lump you all into one spot, which is exactly what you're saying when you call someone a homophobe or a transphobe or racist, is someone who applies the exact same fucking stereotypical moniker to every person. You're literally demonstrating what you're complaining about to begin with. So I wanted to have this conversation because the new mantra from the left, I was called a Nazi last year, probably 7,000 times. I've already been called a pedo at least 1,000 times just this weekend alone. I mean, it is rampant. And it's amazing that people can just make these comments with no accountability whatsoever. And I have a prime example if you would like to participate and see it.
Would love to.
Do. Here is, this one's hard for me because this guy very much wanted to be alpha, so to speak. Oh. And he was trying to demonstrate his alpha dominance, you know? He really was.
Alpha dog, sure.
Yeah, and I respect it. And anyone who says they're an alpha, you're not an alpha, by the way.
Right.
You're a putz.
The moment you proclaim that, you're
a putz.
If you're one of the guys that has to go around, claiming you have all the money and all the girls, and that's not what an alpha does. That's just that's an advertisement for your inadequacies.
Right.
You're basically projecting to the world what you feel like you should have.
Right. So this is what happened. This guy is named Dustin Hoots. And, just a clear winner, tattooed neck, because a neck beard isn't enough to cover the chin rolls. So you got to tattoo the neck too. And we all get there. So he says, I don't think y'all know what hoax means. Now, it goes all the way back to this post where it says last week's hoax, Trump's on the Epstein list. This week's hoax, he cheated at golf. Next week's hoax, Putin is Barron's dad. So, and then the bottom says the Democrats make the National Enquirer seem credible. And the whole point wasn't to be factually accurate. It was to be funny. Humor. Yeah, that obscure reference that leftists seem to have forgotten. It's supposed to be kind of funny. But with all humor, it's kind of true too. So this gentleman decided that he wanted to wax intellects and play in the field of battle. And I said, fine. And I said, define woman. Because he said, I don't think y'all know what hoax means. And I said, define woman. And of course, he goes in with a paragraph answer because there's nothing like 4 or 5 little words, nothing like 4 words to describe what it is, which is an adult female human. It's 3 words. It's not hard.
Right.
Adult female human. That's a woman. But of course it takes a paragraph. And then he later gets on me. He's watching right now. I know he's watching because he's embarrassed. And listen, to Dustin, I get it, bro. I've been in this realm for 4.5 years, and I've never been spanked quite as bad as I spanked you. I mean, literally, you should just wonder if I could adopt you because, you know, I'm a pedo and I'm spanking you, right? Could be fun. You never know. But what the problem is that I've never gotten spanked like this ever. Even my first couple days doing this. Yes, there were people who come in and pissed me off, but I never got owned in the, I'm married. Right there, that puts me above pretty much, you know, just everybody. And I've tolerated it for 26 years. So, which means I have patience. Anyway, he goes into terms, and we're going to blow through this. We're not going to spend a whole bunch of time. So he comes in and he questions my education level and says, you know, that I'm stupid and I was bad in school because I don't agree with his made up delusion and how an ology outside of biology is not an applied science when we're talking about gender studies, or you're talking about philosophy, or even psychology. They're not applied science. They are a practical science,
Sure.
and they're based upon theory and not necessarily on fact. Because the human mind and the human psyche are different for everybody. You know, we're all individual snowflakes. You know that.
Right. Right.
So he goes on and tells me how I don't understand gender and the difference between gender and sex. And
You mean
because
girls and boys?
Right, because the concept is so my question to him, if he was on, the first thing I'd say is please describe to me what is the differentiation and the character feature that a man possesses and a woman possesses that define our sex and our gender. It's a penis and a vagina. Okay. It's a penis and a vagina. And there's also the reproductive system and everything else. But just the basic, I strip down, you strip down, you got a cock, you got a pussy, you're a woman, you're a man. That's the way it works. Okay, well that's both. Sure. That's also universal between sex and gender, and both are defined the same way. Otherwise, then what you're saying is that gender is in your eyes a social construct, and it only is based upon what you think internally, because it's all subjective. There's no objective truth about gender. There's objective truth about sex, but there is no objective truth about gender. It's all subjective to what you think. That is a secret code. And what you're saying is that a person who is completely unstable and completely lost their frickin' lid can define what gender is based upon what's in their head. But the question is, are they stable? Are they delusional? Do they have an understanding? Do they have the background? Do they have the breadth of knowledge in order to define that? And otherwise, you're putting parameters on something that are impossible to ascertain. So he goes and tries to explain. And of course, he comes down, it's a fact. If you would like, we can have a wager for your show. Now he's cooking with gas. Now he's talking my language, right? Because he's going to have to prove that Donald Trump is a pedo.
Well, what's he going to wager?
Well, hold on, I'll tell you that. So the premise that he was initially stating was we couldn't define hoax. And one of the things on the hoax was cheating at golf, which I don't think we're going to have a debate about golf. And I certainly don't think we're going to have a debate about Putin and Barron being Putin's son. So the first one is where he was making his premise, which is Donald Trump was on the Epstein list. And if Donald Trump most assuredly is on the Epstein list, the dreaded list, he's a pedophile. And everything in this conversation, all 46 comments that he made in less than 3 hours, were all about Trump being a pedophile. Once I accepted his challenge, then he backpedals. Oh, I didn't even call him a pedo. Okay, so here's what he wagered. We can have a wager for your show. $10K for who can score higher on a standardized test of your choosing. For the charity of the winner's choosing, bet you won't, he says. So you want to place 2 bets. So you want to bet $20,000. The first bet is for my show that I can't beat you in a debate. The second bet is that I won't accept the bet. So now we're at $20,000. And I'm like, I can cover both bets. I'm ready to go. Let's rock and roll. So I say gender used to be a grammatical term until your crowd hijacked it to mean whatever I feel like today. Now it's a buffet of made-up identities with no anchor in reality, and you expect everyone else to play along or be labeled ignorant. So blah, 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 we go on and on and on. And he goes, nope, that isn't true. It's like, oh, well, now we know. And of course, he writes a novel. And then I said, a standardized test? Sure, I'll get right on that. Let's go back to school and I'll stuff you in a locker. Get the fuck out. I said, I have a simpler solution. Let's do it live. I'll invite you on the show tonight. You just need to provide written proof that you have the funds and intend to donate to the Travis Manion Foundation. The debate will center on your claim that Donald Trump is a pedophile. You present your evidence, and I'll take the defense. The winner is declared when one of us either concedes their point as a fallacy or taps out. Use any tool or resource you want. My funds are ready, verified, and I've done this before, so I already have the paperwork. I'll need your chosen charity's information. Let me know when you're ready for the invite so we can coordinate sound and video. I mean, at this point, you can literally hear his butthole pucker, and not because his boyfriend walks in the room.
Well, because there's, put it up or shut up. Right.
Right. So now he goes, by all means, throw down some more deflection. Then he says, deal. Where and when? At the top of the building, you see, Jets versus Sharks. I mean, come on, dude, where and when? Give me a break. I just told you live. We agree that a pedophile is an adult that looks at a minor with sexual intent or desire, correct? No, we don't agree at all. In fact, no. I say to him, deal perfect, but let's clear something up before you embarrass yourself further. You don't get to redefine words and debate to rig the outcome.
That what the left does?
Yes. Pedophile has a clinical legal definition, and no, it's not any adult who looked at a minor and you don't like the vibe. That's kind of vague. Feelings-based nonsense, and it's exactly why people don't take you seriously. A pedophile, or pedophilia, is by both clinical and legal standards, is an adult who experiences persistent sexual attraction to prepubescent children, typically under the age of 13. That's not up for debate. It's straight out of the DSM-5 and criminal law. That's it. That's the definition of what you're saying.
Fair enough.
Is it wrong that people look at 16-year-olds and have sexual feelings toward them? Yes, but you also need to understand that, unfortunately, when Britney Spears comes on, 99% of all men over the age of 20 would have been in prison. You need to put things in context. And Sigmund Freud, if you're so all about the ologies and philosophy and physiology and sociology, but you're really not focused on the overall psychology, which is probably the closest thing to an applied science. And what Freud says is natural attraction. People, especially men, are attracted to their mothers at some point in their life. Does that mean that all of a sudden they are into incest and they have a matriarchal fascination? No. People have different feelings. Now, does that mean
it's funny when you say that too, because Sigmund Freud was one of the guys who invented this idea of the personality traits, and that they were distinct entities within a living person.
Sure.
And I say that because what a lot of people do is confuse gender with personality traits. And you can have attractions. You can say, hey, I'm going to grow my hair long, or I love the color pink today. That's fine, but that doesn't change your gender. What you're describing is what you are in terms of your personality, not your gender.
Right. That's why I said you can go ahead and pretend that you're a dandelion, but it doesn't mean you're capable of doing photosynthesis. So, you can say all those things, but it doesn't make it fact. And then he says, so you don't think a man that stares at a naked 15-year-old girl is a pedophile? Eesh. Now you're justifying some gross behavior. Well, that's not what I said. What I said was the clinical definition of pedophile is 13 and below, prepubescence, is considered a pedophile. And there's a reason why for this. And I explained it. Just, don't you love it when you just explain something absolutely perfectly and any rational human being would get it? We do this once in a while, folks. And this is important to show you what our day jobs are. He goes, also, you're the one who changed the subject to Donald Trump's pedophile behavior, not me. Are you having a stroke? I'd post the screenshot, but you have picture comments turned off. That's because Dr. Jabba Jimbabawamba, he advertises penile cream about 1,000 times an hour on my show. And I realized that I have one of the cleanest sites. So I don't allow people to post pictures because, first of all, I don't want to see your stupid Donald Trump photographs being a Nazi, or I don't want to see a bunch of idiots posting Joe Biden in a diaper. We tend to be a little bit more highbrow. If you want to link a picture, it's really simple. Just put the URL there. And then he says, nope, you haven't addressed this. Well, absolutely, I addressed it. And I said, deflection won't work. I gave you the clinical definition. Are you going to accept the terms? Here's my address. I go live in 2 hours. Please send proof of funds and the intent letter. I'm waiting. I'll be setting up sound check at 5:30 Eastern. I suggest you get ready. Then I said, now you're stalling. It's right here. I gave him the clinical definition. And it says, I don't think you know what deflection means. Okay, now I don't know what hoax means. Now I don't know what deflection means. Now I don't know what a woman is. Now I don't know what pedophilia is. I mean, this guy just basically thinks that, everyone around him is dumber than he is.
Well,
he says, oh, I'm sorry.
When someone has that kind of affliction, that's called delusions of grandeur.
Well, right. And borderline narcissism. So he goes, I don't need to get ready because you have no intention of doing this genuinely. 2, you're clearly trying to avoid defining things. First of all, we'll do that in the debate. You get to ask me a question of what the definition of pedophilia is. I tell you, and then you counteract that with evidence and proof. That's what we do in a debate. 3, you aren't going to pay. Oh, brother, listen, Leroy knows me. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to, first of all, it's $10,000 to Travis Manion Foundation. All I'm going to do is just give them what I normally give them every year. So it really doesn't matter to me. And if not, I wind up giving them $20,000 because you're going to transfer me and then I get to write a bigger tax deduction. So really, it doesn't matter. This goes on and on. I said, I have included the literal and clinical definition. You're leaning on a definition you clearly don't understand. Yes, thought alone can't be proven. Thanks for confirming why your entire claim collapses. You accuse someone of being something as serious as a pedophile without a shred of observable evidence, then admit there's no objective way to demonstrate intent. That's not logic. That's desperation. You don't have facts. You don't have proof. You have speculation wrapped in self-righteousness, hoping it passes as an argument. It doesn't. I call him a coward.
Okay.
And then he tells me to answer the question again, which I've already answered, the same thing. He says, if I knew you in real life, it would bother me a great deal that you can't agree with that statement. Well, whether I agree with a statement or not, I don't agree with the premise. The premise of your comment is that anyone, and then he says that this is what really just lost the argument. This is where he completely just backpedaled.
Okay.
He goes, nah, I have zero desire to talk to a pedophile. And if you think looking at naked teenagers with sexual desire is okay, you're a pedophile. Then he says, I can't believe you think anyone under the age of 18, it's okay to have sex with them. And I said,
when did you say that?
Well, hold on. And then he says, why can't you agree with that? And I said, because what you said is completely wrong. And he goes, why is it wrong? I said, well, I completely disagree. Your narrow take ignores international laws, the 10th Amendment, which gives states the power to handle these issues independently. You're also skipping over factors like parental consent and legal definition of adulthood. Bro, you're setting yourself up to get steamrolled. And he doesn't even understand that there are a shit ton of states that allow 16 and even 14-year-old to have consummate relationships with people over 18. You would just be baffled. Now, some of those things have to have emancipation from parents. Others have to have parent consent. But a lot of states are at 16. Alabama is one of them. Arkansas is one of them.
Yeah.
So, and then you go over in Europe. I mean, there's girls having babies at 14. There's a lot of places in the world that are not considered to be non-third world countries. these places are having babies at 11 and 12 years old. So what you're saying is that if a culture is different, it defines legality. And you are a thought police. And if you're saying that anyone having a sexual thought about somebody who's not over 18 means that that person is, in fact, a pedophile, is just not clinically accurate. So am I going to sit here and say, as a 25-year-old guy, that I didn't think a 16-year-old girl was attractive? I would be lying, and anyone who says that is full of shit. Right. Am I saying that I've had copulation with anyone under the age of 18 when I was over 18? The answer would be most assuredly not, and never have I tried, because I've never had a problem getting women. Now, there are people who do, but I'm not one of them. So, but to sit here and say that everybody is condemned to hell who has looked at a 17-year-old girl when you're 19 or even 40 and sees a girl walk by and go, wow, she's pretty, or she's wearing something half clothes, and not recognize it, you're lying. You're lying to yourself. You're lying to it all. Does that make them a pedophile? Absolutely not. Because remember, the thought crime is not a crime. It's actually acting on it and forcing your will upon another person, which then interrupts and exceeds their individual rights. That is against the law. No matter what we think about individual thought. Okay? So we go on and on. He backpedals. He tells me he didn't say something. He did say something. He posts 46 times, and this is how long this thread is. At this point,
God.
Right. At this point, I just give up. I just give up. And then, of course, this guy has absolutely no desire to have a legitimate conversation. So I invite him several times. He cowards out. He wants to take a standardized test, which just blows me away. I've been out of school for probably longer than this guy's been alive, and I still probably wipe the fucking floor with him. But how are we going to get a standardized test applied? How do you want to do this? You just want to call a school board and be like, hey, we're two adults and we're just crazy kids, and we have an argument that he's a pedophile and I'm not. We're wondering, can we take a test? Give me a break. Come on the show and argue your points. He did it.
Well, and the problem with that is basically that's an appeal to authority. And his arguments just seemed like they were just chock full of logical fallacies, everything from slippery slope to no true Scotsman. The thing is,
yes.
When people like that come on, they don't relent. They will just bury themselves in their own. Oh yeah, that's what I told biases.
That's what I said.
And
he's like,
it's a never
you
ending
embarrassed
cycle.
yourself, bro. I'm like, I didn't have to embarrass you. All I did was hold the mirror up. I just showed you how stupid you are. And here's the thing. In the end, you're calling me a pedophile based on what?
Right. He has no evidence.
Based on a meme?
Right.
I mean, listen, here's the thing. If you even dignify a comment like that, you're an idiot. And at no time did I defend myself. Because the moment you dignify it, you sound guilty. What do you? Oh, well, you want to check my browser history? Let's take a standardized test to see if I'm a kid fucker. No, it's just like, dude, I just move on. And that's the problem why these guys never get my goat, because I refuse to bite on your false premise. This is what T.S. Dixon does. This is what Leroy does. This is why we always fucking win, because we don't bite on your false premises, and we expose you for what you are. So this guy, you don't have $10,000, number one. That's why you stopped. The moment I said, okay, let's do it. I've got the funds. I'll prove it to you. Let's go. He immediately stopped, because you don't have $10,000 cash. You're just a big mouth who pushes over lower end podcasts who aren't really strong at their kung fu. So he's my dickhead of the week. So congratulations. The reason that's
hilarious.
It was very funny. The reason I brought this up is this is Michael Wolff. And this guy is the new Michael Avenatti without the hair. And well, no, Michael Avenatti's bald too. So they both are. It's just Michael Avenatti, who basically ate at Golden Buffet every day.
You have something against bald people?
So moving on. So Michael Wolff is on Trump's Secret Connections, and he's on every single day on Midas Touch. Now, Midas Touch is the answer to Right Side, RSBN, to OAN, and Joe Rogan. Midas Touch is this big, giant conglomerate. They're stuffing millions into this thing to make it the next Joe Rogan podcast. This guy comes on, and I just want you to listen to this. And I literally believe that he is Dustin, because it is the exact same thing I'm showing you. I don't show you things just to gloat and brag about how I own the libs. This guy, thank you. This guy demonstrates the exact same behaviors. Listen to this. Leroy's not going to be happy about this one. Watch.
But at any rate, at one point after Trump had been elected.
Oh my God. Can you go up into the left any more prominently when you speak? I mean, first of all, this panel literally looks like the Doobie Brothers dads.
Yeah.
It's the Doobie Brothers dads. Like they came out of retirement. But
is that guy on the far left, is he alive?
He's dead. He's dead. Yeah. Yeah.
The guy in the far right, he kind of looks like a wax figure.
He is. He's Roy Schreider's grandfather. So here's Michael Wolff. This person who looks like Marty Feldman in the Young Frankenstein when the camera, the fisheye gets up here when he's nervous in the cemetery.
I was sitting talking to Epstein, and he said, "Wait a minute, I got to show you something." And then he went into his safe, and he came out with photographs. They were Polaroids, I think, and he
they were Polaroids, I think. Listen, there's only two types of film that you can process.
Know if something's a Polaroid.
It's either a Polaroid or it's not. It's a Polaroid, I think. In 2004?
Right. In other words, you don't know.
Yeah, because don't tell me Polaroids. Listen, man, I understand Polaroids were the greatest thing since sliced bread, but not in 2004.
Sure.
Yeah. Like, what did you do? Go over to a Kodak freaking super soup center and get the film processed? You lying dick. All right. I'm grumpy. I had to be good on RSBN today, so I'm like feisty.
Spread them out like playing cards, and it was Trump. I mean, I think there were a dozen of them, and it was Trump.
Dude, if I had this guy in a room with no cameras, I would rubber him out. Look at him. He's literally most people use their eyes to generate in the creative cortex. Yeah. His entire face, lips, chins are all moving up into the left, going to the creative portion of his brain. He's making this up as he goes along.
With girls.
He's leaning into his creativity.
Of an uncertain age at Epstein's Palm Beach house, where all of the things that he would ultimately be accused of took place. And I remember very vividly 3 of them. There are 2 in which Trump is the topless girls are sitting on.
So here's the thing. Is he now complicit on distributing child pornography?
I would say at minimum he is, and could probably be held to some charge, right?
Did he report the crime?
And if anything, and here's the other thing. Trump was the president already. Why is this just now coming out? If you would have had a case about 8 years ago, shouldn't you have been a character witness way back when? Yeah. Or is this just bullshit? Which one?
I just want the Palm Beach Police Department to pick him up for aiding and abetting a crime against children. You consumed child pornography, number one, and you also were complicit and an accessory to whatever illegal activities took place. You're telling me you were aware of child sex trafficking and children being used for sexual exploitation, and you didn't report it to anybody. It makes me an accessory after the fact.
Trump's lap. And then a third in which he has a stain on the front of his pants, and the girls are kind of pointing at it, sort of bent over, laughing, kind of,
or are, which I would just love to be able to be the prosecution on.
God, he hasn't said anything firm, I wonder if he even knows what that means.
Yeah, literally. His story's a little limp.
I think, if I recall correctly, like, just say, yeah, this happened, right? With some level of conviction, looking straight in the eye, say, this is what happened on this date. This was the time of day. They laid out a dozen photos. I can identify them all. That's a more convincing story than, I think it happened here, and I don't know if they were Polaroid. I don't know how many people were there. I can't remember. Not convincing.
He looks like Gilbert Godfrey, who just went to a Terry Savalas.
He does a little bit.
Like,
yeah. Covering their mouths.
Yeah, exactly. And pointing 3 or 4 girls. And those are the ones I specifically remember. And
no, he doesn't.
My assumption is that they were in the safe, and I have seen him on other occasions take them out of the safe. And I think it's certainly not unlikely that they were in the safe when the FBI came in after his arrest and took everything from the house, including everything that was in the safe.
Then why wasn't he arrested in 2018? And we would not have a Donald Trump. We wouldn't have fought through the primaries. They wouldn't have had to go ahead and use judges to steal the election, or more importantly, have an unconstitutional election. This all could have been solved.
Right.
Why wasn't it?
That's a great question.
I can't stand these people, man. This is the point. No. And
this is slime.
This guy's going to say this, and everybody's going to buy into it and repeat it. Be like, oh, yeah, well, what about the Polaroids in the safe? What Polaroids? Oh, well, Michael Wolff.
You saw them.
Listen.
That's the problem with not having evidence and having evidence. Like when you just start speculating and making shit up, right? You can say whatever the hell you wanted.
Right.
This is why, and I'm sorry, but the right is just as culpable on some of this stuff as the left. Like every time I see a Michelle Obama meme out there where they Photoshop her with a dick, it's like not helping.
No, it doesn't help.
If we could stick to facts, we could literally wipe out leftism altogether.
Yeah, but the problem is that you play their game.
Right.
Stop playing their. Like I listen. Did you ever see me entertain that Joe Biden, raped Ashley Biden? No, I brought up the story. I talked about the diary, and then that was it. I never accused him of anything. It's not my business to do that. I also, listen, I know that my cousin said some horrible shit about my uncle, and she was a drug user. She slept around on the street. She was a rancid human being. She stole money from people, and she would just go from family to family, and she left the house. And then once my uncle got money and got his fame and fortune, she came around and she wanted to cash out. So she made claims that were absolutely ridiculous and untrue. And of course, he's a police officer. He knows everything. He knows everywhere he was every minute of the day. And this whole thing came into the family, and every person in the family just reached out to her and said, "You're so full of shit. Nobody believes you. You're lying." Now, there's a difference between somebody who's doing that to gain some sort of advantage over somebody else's misery. And that's exactly what you're claiming that he did. Michael Wolff is an opportunist, and what he's doing is claiming on somebody else's misery, somebody who was really trafficked, somebody who was really raped, and using that to emotionally tie it to Donald Trump with deception. And that is exactly what you're accusing Donald Trump of. Listen, if Donald Trump is guilty, put him under the jail. I'll be the first one. I will literally have a bonfire.
You got to prove it.
You got to prove it. You got evidence. That's all you got to do. Prove it.
And what he did is not evidence. That is hearsay.
Yeah.
That is lying through your teeth. I'm making the claim that he's lying,
Yeah.
But it's hearsay. It's not provable. Like if you actually had some hard evidence, it would have already come out, big boy. But you didn't do that. You're just saying, oh, well, I saw these photos and this happens, so I think he was banging kids, which is complete bullshit.
And this is now, how do you know the left is lying? Because now everyone who follows Trump is a pedophile. Everybody, but that's not what we're saying. You're not hearing us. The one thing you guys never said is if Joe Biden did that to Ashley Biden, he should swing from the gallows. No lefty ever said that. You know what they said? No. It's not true. It's a lie. It's fabricated. Right. It's fake news. What we're saying is we're aware that Donald Trump was friends with Epstein. We're also aware that he kicked him out of his club. And I also have audio that you need to hear, which is very interesting, that we're going to show you in just a second, which essentially exonerates Donald Trump from this whole thing. But the frustrating part about this is that we already admit that Donald Trump is morally compromised when it comes to... You got to tell me that. Just resend it in for me, okay? Yeah. Thanks, honey. Hold on a second. Where is it? Oh, creep. Sorry. I gotta find out where my window is.
You're fine.
Last donate. Widget. Likes. Okay, honey, try it. Sorry, guys. All my stuff wasn't popping up. No wonder why. I don't have my text window up. Sorry, I had to do this for the
interview.
Yeah, and it's thrown me off. Okay, comments and reactions are up. So anyway, now were there any trolls? Did anybody come in? Oh, I got to see if Dustin came in. Hold on. I forgot to open up chat. No, little wimp didn't show up. Oh well. All right. So this whole thing is predicated upon this is just more of the same. And you would think, I was asked today, do I think that there's a way to kind of get out of this, for the left to finally wake up? The only way for them to truly wake up and identify the truth is to continue and do exactly what the left are doing, which is make promises that they aren't going to keep, create false claims that never go anywhere. Joseph Hillstrom, $10.80. Great interview on RSBN. Matt Leroy, FU.
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah. So that's the only way, because I think the right were disenfranchised with government long before, like for some reason.
Completely agree.
Some reason they were disenfranchised with government in Vietnam. They were disenfranchised during the Gulf Wars, but then at some point they fell in love with them. And I think it was really about Obama. Obama came in and they fell in love with the black man's government, right? And there's like, oh my God, he's pure because he's black. And then they're like, wait a second. We kind of feel like we were bamboozled for 4 years. And then they took away the House and they stripped it from him. And America punished Obama. But they just couldn't get themselves to vote for somebody like Romney. And they put him back in. But they were disenfranchised. But for some reason, even though they punished him politically, they supported him and wrapped their arms around Biden and embraced the party mentality. It's very similar if you look at this voting structure, where America, I think a lot of these votes that came in for Donald Trump is that they could not stand Joe Biden. They didn't trust him. But senators and House, they very much went opposite way, and they create a bicameral legislature. They put the ebbs and flows of putting in Democrats to stopgap Donald Trump. And that was very, very weird to see that he absolutely, there was a landslide in the presidential election, but the House and Senate seats and the mayoral races and the gubernatorials were a lot closer. So, Leroy, help me understand. I mean, what is it that we're missing here? That Democrats are fiercely loyal. What's it going to take for them to wake up? Bobby Richardson, we love you too. 5199. Thank you.
I don't know that there's any straightforward answer on that one. I think the big problem with the left is an obvious overtrust in federal government. The idea that you can trust the government more than you can your neighbor, which is basically how the left likes to operate. Whereas the right, we tend to trust our neighbor more than we do the government. And that's pretty evident when you hear about, when you listen to the actual speech from the people from the left, right? So they will always advocate for the side of greater central authority, and they love to go after millionaires and billionaires, right? And they have slowly kind of worked their way towards trying to protect the most minor of a minority of individuals, right? People that don't live in most American households.
Right.
They have migrated towards protecting gay men, pansexual plants, and the list goes on.
Rainbow spotted unicorns.
Exactly. They have lost touch with so many regular blue-blooded Americans that, to answer your question, what's it going to take for them to kind of wake up? I don't know.
Well, I don't know either.
There's a level of delusion there that I'm not sure will ever go away.
Listen, so we've encroached on this a couple of times, and this is the long way around the barn, but we're getting there. People will keep saying, well, Pete Buttigieg will run or Newsom will run. It doesn't matter. Those people are going to have to break so far away from Democratic policy that the liberal machine will no longer look the same. What are they going to run on? I've been asking this question. Nobody will answer it for me for the last 4 years. What are they going to run on in 2028 when Donald Trump is no longer here? What? Just give me one thing. I've asked the girls this. I'm asking you, Leroy. Give me the one thing liberals can run on. Just one.
One thing.
Just one thing. What's like? They got to have something to run on because they can't run on everything else because they've taken the 80-20 on everything.
Right. I think whatever they do run on, they would have to fight for that position back from the Republican Party at this point.
Right. It's not going to be
I don't think that there is any one thing.
There isn't one thing.
And it's funny you said that too, because while you were talking about this, I went ahead and pulled up the 2020 Democrat Party platform.
Listen to this. Listen to this shit.
And it reads just like a communist manifesto of sorts. When you get into the index, right? They talk about raising wages and promoting workers' rights. They talk about investing in engines of job creation. They talk about ending poverty, curbing Wall Street abuses. They talk about tackling runaway corporate concentrism. And then when you get into the second page, protecting American civil rights, where is that a problem? The second page is just chock full of this stuff, protecting women's rights, protecting LGBTQ rights, protecting disability rights. They always take the 80-20 rule. And that was evident even during this party platform.
Right.
So to answer your question, I don't think there's any one thing that they could take away from the Republicans at this point in order to make an effective party platform.
Melanie is making an argument. It's a good point. Melanie's making an argument. Says a ton of Democrat podcasts have changed to Trump and are destroying the Dems, especially after Obama did his wife's podcast. Yes, but that's just opportunist. They're going to go back to center or go back to left as soon as Donald Trump is no longer in the picture. They're doing that for money and ratings right now. It's like the people who are going after
eats their own.
Yes, it's like the people who are going after Jews. They're doing it because it's politically advantageous. Do you think that Candace Owens, once Hamas and Israel slow down, that she's going to continue this grift? Do you think the Hodge twins are going to continue to talk about Israel? No, they're not. They're going to find the next hot button issue and they're going to move to that. Just like in 2014, it was Islam and Sharia law coming over. Look what Glenn Beck did. Look what Rush Limbaugh did before he died. It was all about Islam and it was all about Sharia law. This is what happens. These grifters, they focus on one thing and then they browbeat it to death. Do you know how many people made money between 2020 and 2024 in the stolen election and they don't even bring it up anymore? Why don't you go ask Steve Bannon about the stolen election? Why don't you ask Roger Stone about the stolen election? They're not fucking talking about it anymore. Why not? Because there's no money in it. That's what this is about. It's about money. It's always about money. Money, power, votes. That's it.
Yep.
This is why this show is rare. That's why Damani's rare. That's why Samuels is rare. That's why these shows, we're rare because we haven't been sold out. And I hope we never do. And when we do, I hope you call us out because I'll sell all of y'all for $20 million. I'll say anything for $20 million. But until that day happens, we're going to continue to tell the truth. Go ahead, Leroy.
Well, doesn't that just tell you what the price tag might be on the Democrat Party?
$20 million. Buy me out.
$20 million. Yeah.
Buy me out. I'm out of here for 20.
I think you've hit on something absolutely. It needs to be said over and over again. Every time there's a headline like that, and everyone seems to play the same headline, and then 6 months later, it's gone. Nobody ever hears from it again.
That's right.
Whereas we like to stay on point and stay consistent with the messaging. And if you can do that and filter out a bunch of the noise, you're just much happier. You don't get sucked into the CNN headlines about the white shooter in New York.
Oh, my God.
None
which
of that crap happens.
We'll cover.
Yeah.
Listen, people are saying, well, what about we need Donald Trump? What if Donald, okay, we do not need Donald Trump for a third term.
No, we don't need Donald Trump.
That is ridiculous. No. Donald Trump goes and runs the RNC. He runs from behind the scenes. He makes $250,000 on the lecture circuit. He essentially runs the party, and he beats Obama at his own game. He runs the Republican Party. He shows up to purple states, and he focuses on the House and Senate, and he runs the behind the scenes, and he keeps MAGA moving forward. That's what he does. But I don't want him for a third term. Why? He's too old. 2, it's against the Constitution. 3, I don't want a king. And none of you should either. I don't want to see another Trump for 40 years. I don't want to see Don Jr. running. I don't want to see anybody. No Trumps. No Bushes, no Trumps, no Clintons, no Obamas. No. New blood. New leadership. Youngkin sounds good to me. Okay.
Yeah. You know who's supposed to run your life?
My wife?
You.
Oh.
Her too.
I'm saying my wife.
Right. And that's the main difference between the far left and the far right now is the left thinks that the government should run your life, which is why Obama wanted to impose all these additional restrictions and laws and everything in order to get you to think what he wanted you to think, take away your guns, and get you hooked on this idea that the government is the savior. Whereas the far right strips all of that away and says, you're supposed to run your life.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be free to make those decisions. That's the way it is.
How about an RSBN interview? You mind spending some time?
Oh, I would love this.
A lot of people did not have a chance to see it, and it was live today. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, Matt, God, was this huge? Did you get thousands of followers?" No, not at all. And I don't care. I didn't do it for that. Some people are like, "Well, what's your Facebook at?" I don't know, 241,684. We picked up some Rumble. We picked up some YouTube. My daughter stopped watching it. She said she was getting physically repulsed because people kept comparing me to Graham Allen and saying how hot my voice was and sexy I was, which is really sweet and nice, but that's not why the fuck I went on there. A lot of people said some nice things too. Wow, this guy knows what he's talking about. He sounds like Graham Allen. That was mostly me, by the way, saying all that. Whatever. Hayden said it was horrible. Hayden was like, I couldn't physically stomach it anymore because you're my dad and it's gross. Yeah, Mel says, isn't it supposed to be about the policies? It is. And that's my point, is the MAGA movement there needs to be a changing of the guard, and Donald Trump will need to have the humility to hand it over to somebody. And I think he was challenging J.D. Vance a little bit, but I still think Youngkin is the choice. I think for the first time ever, we could have a vice president work for 2 different presidents. I think very much that J.D. Vance could work under Youngkin, and he's young enough to have Youngkin come in and run 8-4 and have J.D. Vance take it over. I don't think J.D. Vance is ready yet, but I still think he would make a fantastic running mate. And it also gives us that sinew and that tie to Donald Trump by having him remain there. It's just something. But I'm telling you guys, Youngkin is great. Youngkin's great. You're going to love him. Here's the interview. Leroy Knight. Folks, we're at $73.59 on our donations, which we appreciate. Thank you so much. Goals 300 today. If you have not had a chance, you're like, oh my God, I love the show. I can't stop staring at Leroy. Don't forget to help donate and keep the show running. This is about a 20-minute interview, and then we'll probably take a commercial break. Please do me a favor and watch this, because I think it was fun. It was Leroy had some nice things to say about it, which made me feel very good. And here you go. Here's the video. You ready?
I'm ready.
Good. Here you go.
Of media. Let's go now to Matthew Spear, the conservative host of the Don't Unfriend Me show, a Navy intelligence veteran. Matthew, thanks so much for joining us here on Right Side.
Thanks, Matthew. The good news is I won't forget your name, so it should be pretty easy to remember.
Exactly. And so do you go by Matthew or Matt? Because which one do you like?
That's our question, and I think we both probably have the same answer. It depends on if our mother was mad at us or not, so I'm fine with either. But how about Matt? For the sake of confusion, I'll call you Matthew, and we'll call it good.
All right, that sounds like a plan. What are your thoughts about the country right now? Let's just take a 30,000-foot view.
This guy was one of the nicest people I've met. He's so kind, so sincere, just so nice to me. And he put in a massive amount of faith into me. He's never met me before. Mm-hmm.
Right.
I was introduced through a mutual friend.
However, they vetted you, right? They must have had people looking at former videos or something.
They did.
So to your point, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, they vetted me pretty hard because it first came out and said, hey, how would you like to do a 4:30 interview? And I'll pre-cut it and we can do a recorded interview. And I was like, sure, that's fine. I don't care. Just obviously clip the things that I actually say and don't make it sound something else. Joyce says, Youngkin, get real. He may be great, but he's never going to get elected president. He's cabinet quality only. Well, that's a stupid comment. You obviously haven't been to Virginia, and you don't understand that the billionaire class has already bought him. He's bought polling stations already for 2028. The billionaire class has already backed him up. They were going to push him in 2024, but didn't for a couple of reasons. One is because the midterms went like shit in Virginia. So, Joyce, I think you're wrong. But, you can, say whatever you want. Get real. I am real. Youngkin's polling in his favorability in Virginia, he's ranked like 4th in the highest, most rated governors in the United States. Governor Gretchen Whitmer's number 1. His numbers absolutely smash Gavin Newsom. He would be an amazing polar opposite to Newsom. Virginia beats him in every single metric and every single KPI indicator that's ranked upon the state, including education, safety. I don't know what you mean. He's not qualified. Yeah, I think you're grossly underestimating it. Or one, you don't know who Youngkin is. And then you can't say Youngkin, he may be great, but he's never going to get elected president. That doesn't make any sense. What are you basing that he's great on? His right. Dashing good looks, or his sweater vest that he wears, or is he great because he's an amazing governor? And just so you also understand, a governor is absolutely qualified. The next step for a governor is president. In fact, there's been more presidents who've been governors than any other position in Washington. So your argument is moot. But thank you. Here's the rest of the interview. Appreciate you at least saying that, Joyce. I mean, everyone's entitled to their opinion.
View and just hear some of your insight.
To be honest with you, that's a great question. I was hoping you would lead with something like this. If I was looking back on 2020 and specifically January 2021, I was nervous. Made some predictions that Biden would definitely fall to the side of Jimmy Carter or worse, and those predictions came fairly accurate, unfortunately. But there was something that took place when Donald Trump was sworn in, and I think the word that Obama stole and lied to all of us was hope. And it felt like our country somehow understood that the track that we were on and flirting with progressive and socialism ideology over the last 70 years is not the way we want to go. So I love where we're moving towards. I love the deals. I love the meltdown that's on the left.
I want to try to add some commentary here to what my thought process was. So as I'm talking, I'm watching the White House and a live feed of the White House with the American flags in front. And I was extremely, it was cathartic. I was emotional. And a lot of people were like, you were nervous. No, I wasn't nervous. To even be on something like this was extremely humbling. And to be speaking on our nation's capital and our form of government, and to have people actually tune in and even remotely want me to have that, it was probably the highlight of my life, at least one of them. I've had several times where I've been very proud, but this was huge for me. This was 4.5 years of extremely hard work, and to be able to represent Leroy and Amy and Olivia and all the dummies without, and Damani and Ryan and other Ryan and TS and Barry, and to be up there it was just extremely humbling. So that's what I was thinking at this time. That's the White House. I'm on a station that covers this stuff 24 hours a day, and this guy is continuing to speak to me and extending this longer than he has to, which means that he's at least enjoying the conversation, and that just meant the world to me. So that's what I was thinking at the time.
Where everything is doom and gloom, but somehow it seems like we're on the right track right now. And let's see where it leads us in the next 3.5 years.
Well, and that leads me to my next question. What would you say needs to be done to save the future of our country? Of course, President Trump in office is a perfect start.
Mm-hmm. I think when you look at executive orders that were never designed to create law and legislation, it was designed to help the executive branch move forward with red tape and how to take the appropriations from the House and find out how to execute the vision of legislation. I think they're a stepping stone, but they're not going to solve the problem. And we've seen that what happens over the last two presidencies in particular is that when the new regime comes in from the other side, they tend to dismantle everything that was good that the previous president put in place. So I think the first thing, if we're going to talk from a high level, is we're going to have to get the House and the Senate to find a way to start standing together Infighting is not going to work. These separation pieces that are inside the GOP need to solidify and stand with President Trump. And more importantly, in a very short period of time, 3.5 years, we're going to have to understand is that Donald Trump is not going to be the president of the United States. And although his influence will be there, who is going to step up and actually lead this movement, which has just taken the world by storm? And now it is global. It's no longer just the United States.
Exactly. One of the other things that we've been hearing, everyday Americans saying, I remember the conservative analyst and author T.S. Dixon, I know you spoke to him as well, talking about these, investigations and prosecutions to really, hamper any effort of someone that would come in and reverse everything, to your point. So would you elaborate on your thoughts about the importance of arrests for the deep state as we want these reforms to continue?
It's funny, when I came on, I was like, geez, I hope he's not going to mention TS, because that guy is above anyone I've ever spoken with. He's incredible. And he just shocks me with how much he understands. When he was in studio just a couple of days ago, we were talking about this. And I think the best line that he said, which is, it wasn't verbose, it wasn't too long-winded, it just was simple, that America responds to galvanized steel on wrists. And I think that's what America needs to see. America needs to see accountability. And if you look at all the things that they did towards Donald Trump and the political lawfare, this didn't start just with Trump. I mean, we've seen this with Mitt Romney. We saw it with McCain. We saw it with judges from Reagan, and this stonewalling. We saw it with Clarence Thomas. And this has been on.
So I just wanted to give you guys a taste of it. And we don't need to go through the whole thing. And ultimately, anyone who follows the page has seen it in its entirety. And if you haven't, you can find it on Twitter and X and YouTube. I posted it everywhere for everybody. And I just wanted to give you guys a taste. And because I truly wanted to say thank you. Without you, there's no way I would have been up there. And there's no way that Leroy and I would be here. Yes, I did mention Leroy and Amy and Olivia for sure. I did mention Wimkin, of course, and got that in at the end.
And we thank you for that, by the way.
Oh yeah, it's my pleasure. You guys are here, and I think you would be a huge asset. Like the next military crisis that takes place, you and I both getting on would be a good thing. And I'm going to put myself out there now, and we're starting to increase getting out there more, and that interview will bring people into these chairs, and that's what we want. We want to get more people here. And TS was he was our experiment. And it worked flawlessly. He parked outside the front of the house, walked around, walked in. He literally has a bathroom, a green room, or the studio. There's no interruption into our family unit. There's nothing uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. It literally is like walking into a business, and everything's right there, and it works perfectly. And I think that was one of the things TS said is this is a great studio. He didn't call it a great house. He's like, this is a great studio, because that's what it feels like. So we're excited to get some more people. We want to get Ryan Samuels up here and some others. But there it is. Let's do another video. I want to show Leticia James. She announced a lawsuit against President Trump for kicking illegals off Snap.
Why? They're already illegal. I'm looking for some logic here.
Shouldn't we report people who are on Snap who are I don't understand. Right. This woman, here's the thing. If she did what they said and we read the documents, we know what she did. It was mortgage fraud.
Well, think about the logic of that, though. How would she feel if there was a known Snap recipient who had falsified records?
Right.
Or committed some level of fraud in order to receive said benefits.
Right.
Would she feel the same way?
Yeah.
Because that's kind of the definition of being someone who's illegal, right? Like you're already on the wrong side of the law.
Right. Well, wait to hear what Schumer said about black people figuring out how to vote. Ryan Samuels, if you want to call in, more than welcome to call in. Tell us reaction today, whatever. I know Ryan's in chat. I already called out Ryan like 3 times. I know. Yeah, I see him. He called me last night. And we talked today actually too, because like my little my little social engineered friends are all over the place. It's great, good stuff. Thank you, Amy, for pointing it out. Yep, I see Ryan. All right, here we go.
Thank you, Attorney General Bonta. The SNAP program is a critical lifeline for tens of millions of Americans throughout our country, and specifically 2.9 New Yorkers.
Legal ones.
They're not Americans.
Day SNAP benefits.
It's not even legal. They're not even illegal Americans. They're just illegal. That's like
no. What she should have said is what I'm saying. Like, the SNAP program is a critical lifeline to tens of thousands of legal Americans. That's how that sentence should have ended.
But there's no such thing as illegal Americans. So you wouldn't need to say that. You just say Americans. You know what I mean? That's my point, is you're lumping them in with Americans. They're not Americans.
Right. No, you're right.
They're illegal criminals in our country. If they are twice removed, it's a misdemeanor if you come over here. It's a misdemeanor. That's the truth. You jump the border, it's a misdemeanor. But if you do it twice, it's a felony. And a lot of these people have multiple infractions of crossing the border. Here's the rest. You're right. I wasn't trying to correct you from semantics. I just
no.
I can't stand when people say illegal immigrants. They're not immigrants. They're illegal. They're not immigrants. Immigrants follow the rule of law. Illegal immigrant is antithetical. That's like saying an aborted mother.
Right.
It's like saying an NAACP Klan member. It's just military intelligence. Ouch. Hey now. Hey.
Easy now.
Whatever. We're coming at each other.
Make it possible for working families to afford to put food on the table. And more than half of those who receive SNAP are families with children, and more than a third have elderly or disabled family members. Without SNAP, many families would not be able to count on their next meal.
Maybe they'd have to go
home. For decades, SNAP has prevented people from going hungry and saved countless lives. But
why
now,
would they go hungry if they're the ones out in the field picking the crops?
As a tool in their cruel and chaotic targeting of immigrants. It is outrageous. It is unacceptable. And this administration has demanded that states hand over sensitive personal information of all SNAP recipients going back to 2020. That includes addresses, social security numbers, immigration statuses.
All right, shut up. I'm sick of this lady.
Wow.
Okay, so just to give you an idea, in 2023, now 2024 and 2025, remember the census. We can't identify anyone as illegal anymore. They can't be asked that on the census. So they are considered to be counted as Americans. This is how California gained so many legislator seats. And this is what Texas is trying to do by redistricting. And everyone's getting mad. All of a sudden, they're getting upset. Wait a second, you can't do that. Well, California did it when they allowed 11 million immigrants to come in. So here we go. 2023, USDA estimated that 11.7% of all SNAP spending, $10.5 billion, was improper. This is fraud, administrative errors, and incorrect payments to illegals. SNAP trafficking, selling benefits for cash, made up around 2% of total SNAP benefits between 2014 and 17. Unauthorized SNAP benefits, about 5% of SNAP recipients are non-citizens. So if you're wondering what that equates to, it's over $1 billion. $1 billion
of your tax money
is theft. Oh, by the way, folks, tariffs. Yeah, I just want to let you know that Donald Trump, in less than 60 or 75 days, he just hit $150 billion in tariff revenue. Wow, if only we do, what's that for a year? He's on pace to do $800 billion. It's almost $1 trillion in savings. You think that makes up for the big, beautiful bill a little bit? If these people just let this man cook, these new trade deals will be absolutely magnificent for our country. Just let the man do his frickin' job. Leticia
But
James.
people fight it, and I don't know why. I don't know why they fight it as much as they do.
Orange man bad.
They doom and gloom everything to the point of saying the economy is going to collapse, inflation is going to go through the roof, we're all going to lose our jobs, and none of that has happened.
Yep.
Not a one.
Yep. So go ahead. So listen, another federal judge put an injunction on the Planned Parenthood defunding, but they've already decided it doesn't matter. You're going to have it overturned. It is a technicality now. You have no more power. Federal judges are not going to get away with this crap anymore. We're done with it. Do you remember that guy I showed you in the car who was the African-American gentleman, and the police pulled him over for not running with his headlights and literally pulled him out of the car? And your first reaction was like, whoa. And mine was too.
I said it was a little excessive, it looked like.
Yeah, and then you watch the video and you're like, well, It got a little better. Why isn't Leticia James in jail? That's a wonderful question. It's time to start arresting people. Like, listen, I know the Trump administration doesn't want to do this because they'll play into the fascist narrative. I don't care. Start arresting them. Start holding these people accountable. I'm going to show you something that somebody said, like the guy, that Michael Wolff guy. Trump should sue him into oblivion. Sue him into oblivion. Here is the lawyer of the African American guy. Yeah, who's wearing a cheetah striped shirt back there. Just listen to this. This is some Rainbow Coalition, Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton have a love child spin. I mean, it's good.
I miss Al.
I haven't heard this stuff since 1990 or 1980, 1990 with Rodney King. Listen to this.
You know, at the beginning of this case, when we were retained by William, you know, we asked the question, why didn't you get out of the vehicle? Well, first of all, being stopped and being told that you've been pulled over because you didn't have headlights on in the daytime and being told it's raining when a drop is not falling from the sky to give you suspicion.
Car was completely wet. Completely wet. Soaked. Wet. Was raining. Maybe not raining at that moment, but it was raining.
Suspicious at the beginning. To see an officer put his hands on his weapon when you know you didn't violate a traffic violation, give you hesitation. But to be held at gunpoint, for a civil infraction, that's an infraction where you just only pay a fine, $15 at most, to be held at gunpoint. You know, Mr. McNeil represents.
That's right. Push him forward. That's right. Go ahead and put him on stage. Here's the victim.
William represents our heroes of the civil rights movement. As being talked about Rosa Parks. See, in 1955.
Rosa Parks. The only thing he's got in common with Rosa Parks is his hair.
She refused to give her seat up, and it started a movement. Amen. And in 2025, you see William McNeil, college student, mentor, doing everything right. Everything he was taught to do.
Except obeying the law, right? Everything right except for obeying the law, which is the whole point of the police.
We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us.
My countrymen, look at yourselves. You've been bamboozled. Run amok. Plymouth Rock you didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us.
By his mother, still subjected to police brutality, misconduct, a sheriff who willing to expand a narrative that absolutely is a divorce from reality. I said a divorce from reality. Because the fact remains that if a picture is worth 1,000 words, a video is worth 1 million. Yeah. The next day, William was arrested, taken to jail, taken to the hospital. At the hospital, he was diagnosed with a brain injury, closed head injury. The next day, he was sent before a judge, not knowing anything about the law. He pled, and Attorney Robson come up talking more about that, to suspended license and resistance without violence. You know, when I was a criminal defense lawyer, I have Graylin Ward up there, great criminal defense lawyer. You got to enter into a plea knowingly, voluntary, and intelligently. Yeah. How could he enter into a plea when he has a closed head injury, suffer from concussion, and can't even remember his name?
And he's in jail for not having a headlight.
Spent 2 days in jail. So Attorney Robson and myself, we're going to petition the courts not only to pursue justice on the civil grounds, not just pursuing justice on a criminal grounds to try to get the officer arrested, but pursuing justice to secure his freedom. Yeah. Because no way he should have been charged with a crime. Because let me be very clear, the stop was unconstitutional from the beginning. It wasn't just pretextual, it was racial profiling and unlawful. And he suffered a beating that nobody should suffer.
Okay, let's break it down. Amy, is that the sexist that you're using as your character witness? The person that you told me was sexist? Oh, okay. That's fine. Is that the guy who hates Jews that you're talking about? Oh, okay. Nice to that he had some things to say in defense of Mr. McNeil. I want to be clear. If you are pulled over by a police officer, it is not time to litigate that case. If it was an illegal stop, you prove that in the court of law. You comply with an officer's orders. He was driving without a license. Okay. He had marijuana. He had expired tags. If the officer used the headlight as the initial point of contact for pulling him over, and that's the law, then it doesn't matter. He can prove that in a court if he's right or wrong. He didn't follow basic commands. He didn't follow the orders. Now, was it excessive? I think so. I think he's going to get a payday. I think they'll pay him. But you were driving while your license was suspended. He broke the law. He was driving a vehicle that he was not supposed to be operating and drive. He had marijuana in his possession. He had expired tags. Well, what do you mean, whatever, Amy? What do you mean, whatever? Oh, what an argument. Well, you're right. I didn't think about that. That person you're replying to is a person who you've attacked their credibility. So how can you say that person is a fair judge of character? He hates cops. He's a self-loathing person. He doesn't like police officers, and he will hear nothing about it. There are no good cops. They're all bad. They're all shills. He's the only good cop there is. So you have to remember, I've definitely spent more time with that person than you have, and I know his character very, very well. So it's not whatever. It's that I don't find him to be a credible, balanced observer of what happened. I openly admit that it was excessive. Leroy and I both said it was excessive. He punched him in the face. It's not okay. The first time he hit him, he went through the window and he hit him accidentally. Then the second time he punched him right in the face. It's unacceptable. But understand this, that even if it's an illegal stop, that's not defined on the street to avoid situations like this completely. You listen to the officer's commands. You do what they ask. He wasn't going to be arrested. He got out of the car. He was immediately defensive. There's a way to...
And that's my biggest problem with what the lawyer is up there is spouting on about. He's basically saying this kid was assaulted and thrown in jail because he didn't have his headlights on. No, that's incorrect. And you should know better, sir. He is in jail because he resisted arrest and was non-compliant. The headlight situation was why he got pulled over. Everything that happened after that was fully on him. And, Matt is absolutely correct. The side of the road is not the time to plead your case. That's not the time for litigation.
What makes you so special?
That's why we have the ability to hire lawyers to cover our asses for things like that. What this kid did effectively was by resisting arrest and being non-compliant, he's the one who opened the door for all of this. This is not on the policeman right up to the point where they punched him in the face. I was disagreeing with that. Patricia Good donated $26.25. Thank you, Patricia. You're awesome.
See, understand this, is that when somebody says, why am I pulled over? An officer can respond in a couple of ways. One is, I'll explain that to you. I need your driver's license and your registration, please, and your proof of insurance. We'll get to that. But first, so he ran his tags. He knows he's on an expired license. He doesn't want him to run. He probably has a good idea that marijuana is either the smell or that this guy has paraphernalia in the car because he peeped the car. The guy's a professional. Listen, his initial stop was for headlights in the day. Is that an official reason to pull somebody over? Well, according to the police officer, it was. I don't know the city, state, ordinance. But I do know there are states that during inclement weather and fog that you put your lights on. Utah is a huge state for that. Every time I drive through Utah, I had to do that. So I don't know, but that doesn't matter. He was pulled over. The officer was working in good faith that this person needed to be pulled over, and he got out of the car, which is a no-no. He was absolutely defiant to the police officer. We don't even know if the window is or is not working. There's a lot here. But what we do know is that the way that he held on to the video until he obtained lawyers who could prosecute his case and cut the video properly so it looks bad shows you that there's something to be seen. See, this is the problem, and this is what Dom won't cover. See, Dom won't cover those because it wasn't a valid stop. That's not the place to do it. Now, Dom won't tell you that. Dom will tell you that the cop's fault. It's a training issue. The cop's abusive. That all cops are bad. And unfortunately, whether he had done the job for 30 years or not, or 20 years or whatever, I don't give a shit. Dom is not a reliable, unbiased observer anymore. He's not a big fan of cops. He trounces on cops constantly. So I don't know what to say. And there's mad respect for Dom. If he's here, I tell him, I say, hey, I don't think he's a sexist. You guys thought he was a sexist. I said he wasn't. You guys think he is. Yep. But I will say that he is really hanging out and surrounding himself with people who don't like Jews. And he's kind of embracing it. But the other thing is that he doesn't talk politics anymore. Good. I'm glad he doesn't, because I felt he was going down a path that was really detrimental to his credibility and who he was. Now he just focuses on police videos, and that's great. He should. And if Dom was here, I would tell him. I would tell him that. But I'm not going to sit here and because Dom says that this is an illegal stop, that this kid had every right to do what he did. He didn't. He had no right to resist arrest. A cop gives you a lawful order. The lawful order is get back in your car. I need your driver's license. I need your proof of insurance and your registration. And I need you to roll down the window.
Imagine had that played out in a very different way. Imagine if the kid, after being pulled over, decided to not get out of his car, calmly roll down his window. Police officer approaches. Can I see your license and proof of insurance? They exchange information. I pulled you over because you didn't have your headlights on. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't even realize it. Oh, well, here's a warning. Have a good day. And it could have been that simple. And most cops will tell you that is really all that they want. It's not like cops are out there fishing for the next giant civil rights case. That's not what they want. So for this kid to have gone down this path and been so belligerent and defiant, this is his making, and his making alone. Yes, the cop was in the wrong after he punched the kid in the face.
Yeah,
I found that to be wrong. Yeah. But this is all predicated by the kid not listening.
Listen, once again, we can look at this from multiple viewpoints. The first one is, did the kid deserve to get hit? No. Not like that, not in the face. And people say he's passively resisting. Is that like a peaceful protest, Amy? Is that where we've come? He was passive. He's resisting. Passively, you're resisting arrest. It doesn't matter. Whether you're passively or aggressive, it's the same charge. You could sit there and be saying, F this, F that, making threatening motions. It's still resist. You're resisting arrest. He has no right to resist arrest. Now, he resisted arrest because we know a few things. One is that the window tint was illegal. We know he had expired tags. We know he had marijuana in the car, and we know he was driving on a suspended license. And he was probably going to go.
That's why he freaked out the way he
did.
did.
He's going to go to jail. He knew he was going to go to jail, so he didn't comply, and he fought and resisted. But people are making it just altruistic that he was picked on as a black man. I played this video. Why is this even a conversation? You guys saw the same video I did. I saw the one that was bait, and I showed it to Leroy, and Leroy had the same reaction. And then I showed the long form video, and Leroy's like, wait a second now. That's not what I saw.
Whoa.
Right. Let's slow down. Because in my first reaction was, wait a second. Whoa. This was wrong. But you got to remember, I grew up during the Rodney King riots, and I was there. We were in Ventura in Los Angeles County. We know. We didn't see the first 5 minutes of the video where he was spitting on cops, where he was literally picking up a cop and throwing him across the frickin' road. When it literally took 10 cops to jump on his back and hold him down, and he still was getting up. Even when he was getting beaten to literally with PR-24s and nightsticks, he still was getting up. Was it wrong? Yeah. Did they completely go outside the purview of their job? Sure. But if you're going to get your buddy's ass kicked in Los Angeles in that time and the way that county ran, what would happen if you comply? That's the question. What happens if you just do what you're supposed to do? If it's raining and the roads are wet, okay, and you've got clouds, that stops visibility. There is a very big difference during a fog and a rainstorm, or even just slightly misting, with a car that's black and lights out versus one that's on. It's night and day. It stands out. But If that's the law, then you have to follow the law. That's just the way it works. And because you don't like it or you don't want to go to jail because you made horrible life choices, that also doesn't really matter. So, I respect Dom's opinion, and Dom's more than capable if he wouldn't have just defriended me and abandoned me and completely not come on the show anymore because someone didn't pay me what they owed me. He's more than welcome to come on the show. Matt will never admit that anyone else has a valid opinion. Really? Huh. Maybe you can go beg
He's told me that my opinion is valid multiple times.
I don't know what you're talking about, Amy. Amy, I think you're having a real hard time in life right now, and you're taking your shit out on me. And I recommend you don't. Because if you keep biting the hand that takes care of you and feeds you, that hand's not going to come back and help you anymore. So if you want to do this and air our laundry right now, I have no problem doing it. Yeah, I think you've got some problems. And I think you're angry. And you probably have a right to be, but I'm not your enemy. So to say that I don't respect other people's opinions, I do. I don't respect the person that you said you don't respect. You know the guy that used to be on my show and you said he was a sexist and you don't listen to him anymore? So which one is it? Is he a sexist that you don't listen anymore or you respect him? I don't have any problem with having a confrontation with somebody, especially somebody as important to the show as you are. But you're not going to disparage me on my show. You're just not going to do it. So if you want to have this out, pick up the phone, and we'll tell the whole story. I've got no problem with that. But what's interesting, there's been quite a few people who've come to me and say that you aren't the innocent lamb that you pretend to be. That you've got some pretty vitriolic comments about me, about this show, and people on this show. And a lot of people have left because of you too. So if you want to do this, we can do this. I've had a lot of people call me that you're begging for money all the time, every month, including me. And I've been acquiesced to give it to you because I care about you. But you're not going to disparage me on my show. You're not going to throw insults at me on my show. Not without me retaliating. I have plenty of people who ask for my opinion, and I have plenty of people who give me their input, and I listen to it. Yeah, this is a long time coming, and you've been scratching this itch for probably about a month and a half, and maybe it's about time that we do it. So there's the phone number. Call in. This went once I was. This has needed to happen for a while. This isn't the first time. And if you want to question it, let's call Lee. And let's call other people. Let's have that conversation. Let's call people from Wimkin. And let's call people you've driven away from the show because of your side talk and your secret conversations between people. Let's do that. Or maybe punch out. Try to have a good night, and don't take your venom out on me, okay? There we go. Great. All right, go ahead, Amy. Thanks for calling in, at least having the courage to talk to me. Go ahead. I think I just laid it out. Oh, you can't hear her? Hold on, let me figure it out. Hold on. Wait one. Okay, Amy, do you mind doing a test and saying something so people can try to hear you here? Go ahead. Can you hear her, Leroy?
Nope.
Okay, hold on. Let me try to figure this out. Hold on there, Amy. We'll figure this out. All right, try that one more time, Amy. See if he can hear you. No dice?
No.
Amy, how much have you had to... Amy, I'm not... they can't hear you. Amy, they can't hear you. Amy, they can't hear you. We're trying to get your audio to work. So if you hang tight, we'll get your audio to work, and then you can be on the show. Or that's your choice if you don't want it. But you're going to have to hang tight because I'm trying to get it to work. It's not working. All right, Amy, try one more time. Say something, please.
Hello?
There we go.
Got her. All right. Can you hear Leroy, Amy?
You hear me?
Say something, Leroy.
Say, check 1, 2. Can you hear me, Amy?
Can't hear Leroy.
Can't hear Leroy. Okay, hold on.
All right. Well,
let's try to get Amy say something, and then Leroy say something, please. Leroy.
Check 1, 2. Amy, can you hear me? Hello.
She's trying. She can't. Yeah. Paul says, I've seen this coming for a while. Me too. Yeah, it's not. I've seen it coming for a while.
What do you mean by that?
What I mean by that, I think, well, we can.
Now.
I know you can hear her. Can you hear Leroy or not, Amy?
Check
I
1, 2.
can't hear Leroy. I can hear you.
Okay, I think I got one
more.
more.
Don't worry about me, Matt.
No, I got
Don't
one
worry
more.
about me.
I got one more play. Hold on. I got one more play, and then I'll be done. And if I can't get it to work, we'll be good. Sorry, the audio is all fucked up because of the interview. Okay, Leroy, say something.
Check 1, 2. How do I sound?
Can you hear that?
I
Amy?
hear you, Leroy.
Can you hear?
There we go.
All right. See, I told you one more thing. All right, Amy, have at it. Loose the arrows. Let's go.
I was just wondering how I disparaged you on your show when I was saying that what Dom and all these other people, 9 out of 10 people, videos that I have watched say that it's an illegal traffic stop.
Who's the 9?
Because it was not currently raining when the guy was pulled over. It just stopped raining. And who gets pulled over for freaking headlights in a rainstorm anyway?
I have.
I mean, it was in the middle of the afternoon.
I have. Yeah.
And you're also not a young black man that's been, traumatized by all this social media and got it in your head that, oh shit, I'm pulled over, I'm fucked. So that's why he freaked out. And he sat with his hands folded and he's like, I want your sergeant. And which he totally 100% like Dom Izzo said, which Dom Izzo is a misogynistic, but I like his cop talk videos. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I'll just tell you flat out. I don't like everything Dom says, but he's like some valid points.
Okay.
But he just passively resisted. But as far as the gram factors go, there's no way they should have beat the shit out of that kid.
Okay. So hold on a second.
We agree.
Go ahead. Leroy, say something now. See if he's echoing. Sorry, we are literally dealing with audio issues, and I'm trying to fix it. Amy, hold on.
Yeah. No worries. How do I sound now?
Okay. Can you hear him still, Amy? Okay, you can hear him. Now we see no echo. All right, hold on. All right. It's almost there. There's a delay. We're doing the best we can. I didn't expect to get read the riot act tonight over somebody getting pulled over. Is he good? Okay.
How do I sound now?
No, we know you're waiting. All right, I'm going to go and let me know if Leroy's echoey or not. Echo with Leroy. Son of a bitch.
Don't worry about me. We'll come back to that later.
All right. Okay. So Amy, let's take one thing at a time. First of all, how did you disparage me? So you made a comment a few seconds ago, and do you remember what that comment was? Okay. So were you just pissed off? Yeah, I know you are. So are you mad? Are you mad at me or are you mad at life?
Matt, just so that you're aware, I can't hear her.
I know. I'm done with it. Just let me do this.
Okay.
I love you, buddy.
You're good.
Go here. Now you'll be able to hear her, but you're going to be echoey, so don't talk.
I won't talk.
Okay. So Amy, first of all, I'm very well aware that you're pissed off, and I'm very well aware that you're going through a lot of things. Completely understand. And I think I've been very, very receptive to that. Second, who can't hear her? Can you guys hear Amy? Amy, please say something one more time.
Hello.
Now
Amy, can you call into the interview link, please?
I'll try.
I'll send it to you right now. You want me to text it to you? See, she's not mad at me. She's mad at something else. So she's going to call into the interview link, and we'll just do this.
Yeah, that'd be better.
Okay. Sorry, guys. Listen, this is our show, and we're going to do what needs to be done, and that's just the way it is. Sometimes it gets. Okay, well, she's off now. So, Livy, I'm gonna email Stancomb. I just gave her the Zoom invite, and she can come on Zoom. Okay. Welcome to drama. You got drilled this weekend, don't you?
No, I actually you can do something called a resched, which I had to do because we're leaving Friday.
Okay.
Me and the wife.
Okay, Amy, just call back in on the number. Okay, so I think I got most of her shit out. So here it is. Okay, everything you said about Dom is interesting because I had a lot of respect for Dom as a cop. Okay, here's it. Okay, you're here. We can hear you. Leroy might echo. Who's echoing?
I'm not echoing, am I?
No, I have to fix this.
No, you sound fine.
Okay, I need.
I'll just shut up.
No, dude, I need you to talk because you're a part of the show. So just hold on. All right, Leroy, say something.
Check 1, 2. How do I sound?
Amy, say something.
Hello.
Okay. All right, I need you guys to respond as fast as possible. Who's echoing? Amy, Leroy. Can you hear everybody? Can you not? Could you hear Leroy, Amy?
I can hear everybody.
Okay. Now we need to see if there's any echoing.
Am I still echoing, folks?
I don't
put a yes or a no.
They can't. It's a 15-second delay. So Olivia's got the computer right here. Okay, everybody's good. Okay, close the damn door. Love you. Okay, good. Okay. So here's the deal. First of all, be completely clear. I have no problem with Dom. Dom is a grown man. He has every right to be pissed off at the police department. He was completely treated like shit. I don't agree with his takes. I don't think all cops are bad. I don't think all cops are stupid. I don't think wearing thin blue line means you're a bootlicker. I don't believe any of that shit.
He doesn't believe that either.
Yes, he does. That's bullshit. That's absolutely what he believes. He thinks
he is pro. He says it every show. He is pro cop. He is anti bad cop.
Yeah, and he bashes on every cop. So that's not true. First of all, I was on the show when he bashed the thin blue line. So Amy, you're wrong. Okay, so you could, once again, I since I don't agree with anybody who has a difference of opinion with me, this is pretty much par for the course, as you said, but you're wrong. So that's number one. And number two, you didn't speak very highly of him when he was on my show. In fact, I limited his involvement in the show because of that. And you didn't like the way he was treating you and other members, and extremely flirtatious and other things. Okay. And then, although I appreciate who he is and I thank him for his time and I do value him, I don't agree with his take on Israel. And I don't agree with some of the language that he's diving into. And I'm glad he got out of politics and is focusing strictly on police department. But I don't agree with a lot of things he says. But that doesn't matter. That doesn't mean I can't separate the two. I just find it unique that you are using him as a source for someone who you believe his judgment is impaired when it comes to the females. Persuasion is that
the case has nothing to do with females.
Sure it does. It's his perception as a human being, where if he demonstrates ignorance, how can he be a valid source? If he's demonstrating,
then let's go with lackluster. Then we'll use him.
We're not talking about that. I don't want to shift the goalposts. We're talking about one thing right now. We're talking about Dom Izzo, and if he has a valid argument and is a trusted source from you when you don't like what his opinion is about women and female cops and other things. So is it that you value his opinion or you don't value his opinion, or you can separate the two?
I can separate the two.
Okay.
I don't like his misogynistic bastard bullshit, but his cop talks are really good.
Okay, good.
Okay,
good, great. So now that we've established that and we've cleared that up, great. Now we can move on to the next. The next thing is my argument and well, first of all, I want to talk about how you say that I can't accept anyone else's opinion that doesn't agree with me. Why don't you clarify that statement?
Past experience. I mean,
what are you talking
anybody that's ever had an opinion that varies from exactly what you say, you belittle them.
Who?
On the show, and you carry a grudge, and 3 or 4 days at a row.
Give me an example.
I mean,
give me an example.
Lee, Judy.
Wait. What about? No. I said examples. I didn't say to mention names. What about Lee? Tell me something that happened with Lee where we disagreed on live when he was talking to me on the show.
I'm talking about in general, because he was watching another show and he was moderating another show. He decided to come back, and then you're like, oh, you smirked off something.
Yeah.
Snide to him, and then I haven't seen him since.
Okay. Well, did you know
So
why?
that shows all about your character.
Wait a second. You made a claim that he couldn't differ an opinion of mine. And that was the claim. Not that he left the show because he was upset with you, because you called him out about a group that he had. And he had some serious issues with you and he had to come in and write a statement, like 5 paragraphs about the miscommunication between you. You were upset. You left chat. You bailed on the moderator job and got pissed off at Lee. And then I simply said,
bailed on the moderator job. What the fuck are you talking about?
First of all, don't talk to me like
I am the only mod that is there every single show.
Don't you dare speak to me in that way. I don't know who the fuck you think you are, lady, but you don't get to speak to me in that way. I have never talked to you in that way. Don't you fucking dare speak to me that way. So if you would like, you're telling me that you and Lee didn't get into a massive argument and he didn't leave over his group where you got into it with his lead moderator over in his group.
We made up. We had a misagreement and we made up.
Okay, but
you're talking about something that happened a year and a half ago.
Whoa. But you're still not listening. So when that took place, you're telling me it did not create absolute dissension between you and Lee where he stopped coming around. You stopped participating in the chat. You left his group. You left mod chat for a period of time and came back. You're telling me that didn't happen?
You said you didn't like the other chat. So I left the other chat.
That happen or not?
You said, I don't like all these chats. It's too confusing.
That
so I left that chat.
Happen or not?
Because, yes, me and Lee got into it, and me and Lee made up, okay?
Happen or
and
not?
What goes on between me and Lee is between me and Lee.
Okay, so not when it's in my moderator chat. It's not. It has everything to do with me. It has everything to do with my site because it's happening in my chat. So, number one, you're being disingenuous and you're being dishonest. So that did happen. Thank you for admitting it. When that took place, Lee stopped coming around for a long period of time. And you guys may have made up or not, but he stopped coming around.
And then he came back.
When?
He's on Wimkin.
No. He's on Wimkin alone. That's it. Doesn't come around to any other channels. He occasionally comes on Wimkin.
He doesn't go on Facebook because he doesn't like Facebook.
Wait a second.
And he doesn't like to pin comment because he's blind and he can't see the chat.
Once again.
So he went somewhere else where he could see the chat.
Lee and I have had many conversations about his diagnosis. I've reached out to him and make sure he's okay. He was on Wimkin, but the conflict between you two, he stopped coming around after that. And he even said that in his statement. If you'd like, I can pull up the screenshot and read it to everybody. And this was
you didn't have to make that snide little remark when he decided to come back.
We're not done. Now we're going to get to that. I can make whatever remark I want. And if somebody says, hey, I've been busy and I'm really sorry, but every night they're on another show, I'm going to call that out. Because that's once again being disingenuous and being dishonest. And I would expect more from somebody who I truly care about, likely, to at least be honest about where he is. And if he's not having a relationship with the show anymore, he's not happy with the show, you can say that. Hey guys, I got pissed off the show for a while, or I'm not happy, or I don't like Amy, or I don't like Matt. Now I'm back. But that's not what was said. What it was that I've been extremely busy and I've been taking care of own personal stuff, but that's not true because I see him every single night on the lady who you got in a conflict with on her show.
I never got in a conflict with Dixon.
You didn't get in conflict with Dixie? She has a problem with you. Maybe
that's news to me.
Well, it wasn't news to me when I had to sit on a phone call with the CEO of Wimkin and her, and she complained and said,
"You're the one that made this remark about her."
Excuse me.
He was talking about Yunkin one day, and I said,
"What did you say?"
Somebody on Wimkin said, and I mentioned her name.
Yeah,
I said,
"Yeah, you did."
She said this, and that about Yunkin. I said, how would you answer that? No. And then you're the one that went off on her.
No, that's not what you said. See, this is the problem, is you couldn't even remember what you said less than 5-10 minutes ago when you said that I will take nobody else's opinion over my own. Well, that's not true. You haven't been able to prove that or demonstrate that at all.
Whatever.
Well, whatever. So that's thanks for I don't know, conceding. What do you want me to say? You're upset. You openly admitted that you're pissed off at something else other than me. I said that openly, that you're pissed off at what's going on in life right now.
I work 3 jobs, okay?
You know what? I work 16 hours a day.
You said that, well, don't bite the hand that feeds you. I texted you one time.
Don't.
Because I needed help with the light bill.
It's not one time.
And you texted me $250.
That is such bullshit, Amy. Do you want to do the receipts? Do you want to do the receipts?
Outside of everything, I've got a pinned comment on my thing saying, hey, I need help.
$10,000 from Wimkin stock that you get to cash out in what, 3 months?
No. 2 years.
No.
That's
It
1
was
year left.
2
It
years
doesn't do
after
nothing. It's
you
just sitting
got
on my
them.
phone, not doing nothing.
2 years
I
after
don't get
you
dividends
got
on
them.
it. It's nothing.
2 years after you got them.
You want to buy it?
Sure. I'll buy it. I'll give you 10 cents on the dollar.
No.
Okay, well then don't cry. You don't want $1,000? Give you $1,000 for your shares. And I'll give them to Amy, and I'll give them to Leroy, and I'll give them to myself. I believe in the company. See, here's the problem.
But the thing is, you're sitting there telling everybody that I'm biting the hand that feeds me.
It is biting.
I asked one time for light bill money, and you gave it to me. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Multiple times.
But I'm still struggling. I'm working 3 jobs. Meanwhile, you're
that.
bragging about eating, steak and expensive shirts and, $300 gold times 5.
$300 what? Wait,
That's $6,000 a month.
So this
times
is
that $72,000 a year plus whatever Wimpkin's paying for you, and you want to act like you're broke.
Who said I'm broke? Who's ever made that? This sounds like, listen, this is enraged jealousy. You've got
it is. I'm jealous because I got to work 3 jobs.
Well, then I'm sorry, Amy, but that's not my fault because this show is successful. You literally enjoy a show and watch it. You moderate
every
chat.
single day. I'm the only one there every day.
Don't do it anymore, Amy, because nobody fucking asked you to. Nobody asked you to, Ames. You came in and you enjoyed the show and wanted to participate and you had a level of involvement. You approached me and said that you had moderated other shows. And I said, awesome, let's get you in here and let's do it. But can you stop pretending that you work 75 hours a week for me and I somehow don't pay you? Because that's what you're telling everybody. Give me a break. What do you do on this show? You come in here and you ban people. That's very kind of you, but you're not going to sit here. Now Olivia's coming in. You're fucked. Now you're fucked. Now talk about biting the hand that fed you. Now you're fucked. I don't know what to say. Oh, Amy, you're fucked now. I never said I was broke, and we have secondary income, and you have no right to question what I've done. Because you know what? I have never, ever tried to brag about it. So I bought some shirts. I've been wearing the same clothes for what? The stuff that I buy, my own brand. I'm sorry I went out and bought some shirts to look a little more professional. I really apologize. I'm sorry that I took T.S. Dixon, who spent $600 on a plane ticket and paid for his own rental car, that I went and bought him dinner as a business expense. I'm so very sorry.
Can you hear me?
No, she hung up.
Yep.
Because she's fucking scared.
She hung up. Right when I come in, she hung up. Amy, you need to call back.
I've been a jerk lately. Okay. Sure, Michelle. I'm really sorry. I don't know what to say. Don't know what to say. But you know what? Maybe this needs to happen. The behind the scenes stuff that takes place, this is why you be completely transparent. Do you want to say anything?
Yeah.
Leroy, you want to stick around for this? Or you want to jump?
No, you know what? I'm gonna peace out, and I love all you guys.
Love you too, buddy.
And just everyone breathe, right?
Oh, yeah. I don't think it's a breathing issue. I think it's an overreaction issue. I know what you're saying.
Yeah. I will see everyone later. I'm going to go pack. Love you guys.
Bye, Leroy.
See you, buddy. All right, so let's get into it. I don't think she's going to call back. So you're going to speak your piece.
Well,
go right
I can't.
Ahead.
Text won't go through anyway on your phone for some reason.
See.
For starters, Lee hasn't come back. He hasn't been on.
Oh, no, he's been on in a year.
Yeah, well, he hasn't been on Wimkin Chat in a year. She said that he came back. No, he's not on Wimkin Chat.
He's not back. He hasn't come back on Facebook. He hasn't come back anywhere.
No one's on Wimkin Chat. Jerry comes on Wimkin Chat.
Jerry Kruger's on. Yep.
He is on every single night, faithfully. But other than that, like Melanie comes in to say hi and shares. Kevin comes and says hi and shares. But no, Wimkin, it's hard to chat because you can't watch the show and chat at the same time because you have to move the entire page up. So it's hard to watch it. So I understand.
You don't want to be on camera?
No, I do not want to be on camera.
Great. So I just get to sit here and look like it.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I don't want to be on camera.
Okay, go ahead.
But I really don't appreciate the way that she's talking. I don't know what she is talking about.
Yeah,
I don't appreciate the way that she spoke to you.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm a big boy.
I don't appreciate what she is talking about because she doesn't. I understand she's upset right now for whatever reason, but I don't understand where this is coming from. And when I'm out there, I watch Rumble and I'm not even really watching chat. So I have no idea what happened and what she said in chat to get this all started.
It was just an argument about about Dom Izzo, and he had a difference of opinion than I do. And I said, okay, great. But why are you taking Dom's opinion? I thought you didn't like Dom and everything else. And, I disagree with his premise is that even if it's an unlawful stop, you obey the commands of the police department. That's it. You follow the law. And she disagreed. And then it started, well, you can't take anyone else's opinion other than your own. And then she started talking about Susie, and Susie and I've never had a conversation in chat. I don't know what she's talking about. Lee, I don't think Lee's ever called into the show. Maybe once a long time ago.
We've never had an issue. He just kind of quietly walked away, which is totally fine.
Yeah.
We love our viewers and we love everyone watching the show. But if you choose not to watch the show anymore, that is your right. I'm not going to beg you to stay. Matt's not going to beg you to stay. We love everyone. But if you decide that you're just over the show, that's fine. Go find something else that you want to listen to. No hard feelings. That's fine. I don't even have hard feelings to certain people that left the way they did. I've got no problem. And they have their right to their opinion, and that is fine.
Well, this has been coming for a long time.
It has been coming.
Like I told, why don't you tell them what I said 2 weeks ago about this?
That we need to have a talk with her because people have been coming to us, and what she's been saying on her own personal Facebook page, that's great. But and she has every right to do whatever, but she does represent us on her page. And so people are coming to us because she is begging for money. And I understand it's hard.
And that is fine. And I understand she has every right to do that, but do not use that as the show, right?
I understand it's hard. I understand what she's going through is hard.
Life is hard.
I get that. I get it. But what I don't like is when she throws that back in our face. I'm sorry you work 3 jobs. I'm sorry. But you were not here and didn't see the struggles behind the scenes when we had no money coming in. During COVID, when I didn't work and Matt was the only person that worked, and he went from, he lost 85% of his pay. We had no idea how we were going to pay the mortgage. We had you've never walked in our shoes to know what we've been through for the past 26 years.
Yeah, no,
and to make it trivial that you're throwing it back in our face that we're spending our money. You do know I work a full-time job.
See, and that's the thing that people don't seem to understand is that there are other income streams outside of the donations. The donations are taxed at 40%. So her saying $72,000 a year in donations, you can take 40% away from that right away. And I understand people's frustrations, but what I make as a social media influencer or a podcast host or whatever it is, it has absolutely nothing to do with the listeners. And what I make based upon the size of the audience that we have and the interactions that we have, you just don't understand where it's at. But I'm sorry it upsets you, right? I look at it this way. I would be happy about it. And I understand where she can feel it's hard right now working 3 jobs. But, you know, she has been going to her Bible study. She has, you know, stepped away from the show a few times, and that's okay. But you're not paid to be here.
No, we have
and there was never once an agreement for that. And if you needed money, we got it. And then even the stocks, it's like they don't pay dividends. They don't pay. It's like
we can't cash them for a year. That is right. but we've only had them for a year.
Okay, so well, I just made a comment that it's close, but I thought it was closer than that. I thought it was a year and a half. But either way, it's still for a job that you're watching a show and you're moderating people who spam. It's not a full-time job.
We appreciate all the mods and we love all the mods.
Yes, and Terry said it best, hurting people lash out. Why do you guys think I said, this isn't about me? You're mad at somebody. Why are you taking it out on me? Why are you frustrated at me? I'm sympathetic, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend that this has all been, this is victimless. There's multiple things. Mel knows the story. I've talked to multiple people. We can bring Vicky into this. I can bring a lot of people into this conversation, and there's no reason to. Amy is loved, but I'm not going to have anyone talk to me that way. I'm sorry. It's just, you're not going to do it. Nobody speaks to me in that way. And the only person who can speak to me that way is my wife. And nobody else has earned that right. Everybody in this fucking, you know what? I'm done. I'm not going to sit here and do this anymore.
What is going on?
Every single person in Dumb Nation, Mel just said it best, and she's right, has helped Amy. All of us. Every one of us have given her money without question. I have paid for her taxes on donations 4 times. And those are people giving hundreds of dollars to almost $1,000, and we're paying the 40% taxes on those donations. And we grossed every one of them up. You can ask Frank. You can ask Glenn. You can ask everybody. Chat. Ask Mel. Everybody knows they use my donation account to raise money for her. This is complete bullshit. It's completely unfair. It's completely uncalled for. And any idiosyncrasies that I possess that are wrong, or I need to, like, I don't know. She says, be more humble. Okay. Or Michelle says that I've been a jerk lately. I don't see where that's coming from, because we have conflict. What that has to do with Amy's financial burdens. I am empathetic and sympathetic to what she's going through. The other fucking week, she lit me up like a Christmas tree because I accidentally called her husband her son when I'm running 14 different chats. And that whole thing blew up for no reason. Paul's right. Anybody who's been watching has known that this has been a long time coming, and it came to a head tonight.
I just don't, Amy, if you're listening, I don't appreciate you talking to Matt that way. No one will talk to him that way, period. I have the right, because I put up with his bullshit behind the scenes, and he puts up with mine, and we are married. So we have every right to talk to each other how we want to, but you don't have any right. And I love you, Amy, but what you did was completely uncalled for and completely wrong. There's no reason you should have done that. And calling out because we have money that we can not have money, but that we can.
Nobody's pretending they're broke. Those things have, you know what? If I'm not mistaken, the saying is, we want people to give them when it feels good. They don't have to give to watch the show. And people say, I don't have any money to give. And what do we say? It's fine. We're going to be fine. We're going to be okay. When people call and say, hey, it's going to be tight this month. Someone just did. I said, how can we help? I'm not even going to mention that person's name. 2 people called in the last 2 weeks and said, hey, it's going to be tight. And I'm like, how can we help? What can I do to help? This is a ridiculous conversation over something so very, very stupid. Terry, I understand she's going through a hard time, and she's been going through a hard time for a long time, and I'm empathetic to it. I understand it. She's going to a church group, which I also think is a good thing, and she's trying to find God, and I understand that, and I understand all of it. And the one thing I have always told Amy is, if you need money, come to me. And she did, and she got it. Anytime there's been a fundraiser, I pay the taxes. Frank, I wish Frank was here. Frank will tell you, because he usually runs these. This is not the first time. This is multiple times. People are having tough times. But to sit there and lash out against us, yes, we've had some success this year. It feels it felt really good up until now. It felt like no big deal up until now. Yeah, and you know, there were times where if we don't say thank you for a donation or it gets missed, then people do the best they can, and that's all I can say. But to be completely honest with you, I'm not running and hiding from this. I'm not going to not talk about this. If something like that is going to be said in open chat, and it's going to question my care for somebody's husband or my sincerity that I don't know that took place and it wasn't just a Freudian slip. This has been brewing for a while. If somebody says you don't care about anyone else's opinion and you can't be wrong, that is another thing that I'm going to take umbrage with. And if you're going to expose that into an open chat, you're damn skippy. I'm going to address it in the same place.
Anyone who's been watching the show long enough knows that we call out everything in chat.
Okay, do you have anything else to say about this? Because at this point, I'm just not going to sit here and keep doing this.
No. On a brighter side, and then I'll go. But CJ Jenkins just donated. Thank you. Says, sorry, some people want to steal your thunder. The show's starting to fly, so enjoy the ride. 2110. Thank you so much, CJ.
Thanks, CJ.
For that.
Yeah.
We had a new person on Rumble. He's actually from England.
Mm-hmm.
And he came on and I was chatting with him for a little bit and I asked him, hey, how'd you find the show?
Mm-hmm.
And apparently we're trending. We're in the trending now podcast.
Well, that's great.
Rumble,
but you know
fantastic.
what? But what really frustrates me is that this has been completely tarnished by somebody who I consider to be a dear friend who has allowed. Yeah, this isn't good for Amy. It's not right. It's not right for Amy. It sucks. So I don't know what to say about it, except that I don't like it. I've pled my case. I disagree. This has been a long time coming, and I will restate this again. If anyone has a problem with the donations that are taken into this show to pay for this show, and certainly not broke. Those words have never come out of my mouth, but we do try to share when it's a tight month. We do try to share that the studio costs more than what we thought. We put money out of our own pocket into it, and we're trying to be as transparent as we can. And there were also months where we said they were extremely good in Christmas, and we've said, hey, we're good. I can't tell you how many times when people kept donating and it was $400 or $500, and we've said, hey, stop. You know what? We're good. Pace yourself. We don't need to do this. But people give, and they give without question. Glenn says, well, I think that this is needed to be talked out. It's hard to listen to. I can see both sides. I think it'll get better, like festered. It gets open and healing can happen. James, it doesn't matter if Amy drinks. It doesn't, none of that matters. None of that matters. Amy has every right to participate in any way that she wants with her own life. What I have a problem with is when it crosses into the show and the show becomes about Amy and not the show. And Amy feels like she is owed something more than we have ever stated. Ever. There's never been any promise. But there has been promises that if we somehow get to a place where we can support hosts and support moderators, that we would be more than happy to do that. More than happy to do that. That has always been, but we're not there. And we haven't been there. You know, and the sad thing is, Mel, you have absolutely no reason to apologize. Mel is like, yeah, this is what makes me mad. Is she is so giving and so caring, and she knows the truth, and I can't even say it, and I'm not going to. It's just ridiculous. And there's so many people like Bobby and like Mel and Chuck and everybody who gives every single night. It's endless. And they all help. And Amy tries to help. And the point is, please just hold on to it. There's people who give money. Elizabeth Hall gives $1 or $2, and it literally means the world for us. It literally means the world. You've got people like Mel who are literally struggling to find a job because, oh man, so stupid. I don't even know what to say. Liv, say something, because I don't know what else to say.
I'm going to put in a donation. Hang on. It from JD Stillwell says, hopefully I can comment in a day or so. Love you, dummies. We love you, JD.
What did he say?
Hopefully I can comment in a day or so. He was accidentally banned last night.
No,
and it takes a while.
JD, I removed him. I got him back.
He did, but it takes about 48 hours to get his status back to be able to comment in the stream. So
Joyce, just to shift gears, Joyce says he has no personality. This is about Youngkin. He has no personality, nothing to capture the imagination of the people. What does he represent to people to get them to vote? Republicans no longer vote just because someone has an R after their name. Only Democrats still do that. I think that's fair to say. But I'm not sure if you understand what was going on in Virginia with Youngkin. Virginia was a Democratic stronghold. Northam.
I'm going to put
and
this
Bergram.
jump.
Yeah, go ahead and put that in.
All right. So it was from Paul Rivera. I wish Amy S. all the best. Bad night for her. Hope she comes back. Thank you very much, Paul.
Thank you, Paul.
We really appreciate it.
It means a great deal.
I'm going to jump. I will see y'all tomorrow.
You're going to leave me?
Yes. I love you.
Really?
Yep.
You're with this?
Well, are we done? I thought we were moving on.
I don't think so. Maybe I just might need a little emotional. Let me ask you a question. You're a woman, right?
Don't assume my gender.
So when you have something like that, what do you want?
When I'm going through something like she's going through?
No, when you're going through something like I'm going through right now, what do you want?
Support. Somebody to hold me and love me and hug me and kiss me. Okay.
Feeling a little isolated, just a tad, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Okay.
Here, read that.
Nice to have you here.
I'm supposed to tell you this.
I'm pissed she pulled this.
It's private, but I'm allowed to show you.
Listen. Okay. I'm gonna make this as clear as I can. And I know I'm not supposed to say that. Oh, but let me finish Joyce's comment. So okay. Joyce, it's a good statement, right? But I don't think you saw it here. Are you from Virginia? If you are, let me know. If you're not, Youngkin was going against Northam and Bergram. And he literally was a grassroots guy. Now, he had millions. We know this. And he was successful in business. But he created a movement here. And he inspired gun enthusiasts. He inspired farmers. He inspired military and teachers, specifically parents who were teaching their kids homeschool. And he fought against DEI and diversity, equity, and inclusion massively. It was literally him rising up and challenging the Board of Education and the Fairfax and Loudoun County school boards that got him here. He won Norfolk and V Beach, which are predominantly blue areas. He turned Virginia purple. And that was a massive success. It was a grassroots campaign, and he has been monumentally successful in his 4 years as governor. I don't think, and this is with all the respect in the world, that you truly know him and have heard him speak and been to his rally and seen the energy that he brings. It's incredible. And he rallied all the rural counties inside Virginia. It was immense.
He came to our little small town.
Yeah, he was amazing. Elizabeth, I appreciate that. You really haven't asked for much. You never said you were broke. In fact, you have gone out of your way to be there for everyone. Listen, this is what I was going to say before I jumped on there, is Amy has a right to have her opinion and has a right to feel the way she feels. That's her interpretation of the events. That doesn't change the fact that there were some gross mischaracterizations that were made that I don't appreciate. I don't appreciate anyone talking to me that way. I don't care who you are. You guys have never seen me mad. You almost saw me mad. That's about as mad as I get.
There's a reason I jumped on.
Yeah, because that's about as mad as I get. And there's a tone that I take, and it's, we're no longer fucking around. And when that tone comes out, it's probably a good idea to not go any further, because then it's no longer what you're saying has validity. You're purposely trying to harm, and I'm not going to tolerate it. So do I believe I'm always right? I don't think that that's fair to say. Is your mouse
It was dead. I only charged it for a few minutes.
Okay, you got to plug it in today.
I'm gonna plug it.
So do I like to believe that I'm always right? I don't think that's fair. I believe that there are times where facts, there's no equivocation and there's no emotional platitude that's going to fix that a fact is a fact. Ooh, Holly's in there talking, huh?
Yeah, she just said, well, Indiana hates Youngkin. Why does Indiana hate Youngkin, Holly?
Yeah, why does Indiana hate Youngkin, Holly?
That I would like to know.
Interested? Yeah, thanks for monitoring chat, because I want to see where everyone's at. It's interesting. Where's all the hate coming from Youngkin? Is it because that he didn't want Trump in Virginia stumping for him? Because the numbers said it would have been a bad idea. Charity says, Matt, your success is a triumph. My success is dependent upon y'all. And if people are feeling bitter and upset, and Melanie's upset because Melanie got it and I got into it, or Michelle Lineberger and I, and I thought that was over, but obviously it's not. So she says I'm being a jerk lately, so I've got to listen to it. She says I'm being a jerk. I trust her. She's been watching the show forever. And if she says I'm being a jerk, then I'm going to listen. Just like if Amy says that, but I've heard all this shit from Amy before. So like, I'm done with listening to it. Like, I'm done with listening to conjecture and things that aren't true. And she openly admitted that there's some jealousy there, and that's fine. You know, what's funny is that we even told Amy at one point that she has a place to live if she needed it. And that wasn't in jest. Multiple people looked about getting a car for her, including Leroy and I. Leroy's not going to say that because Leroy's a good dude, but it's not important. She got to speak her piece. She called in, and all she had to do was say, Matt, stop. Made a mistake, stop. And then it would have been over. Or call in and say, I'm sorry, made a mistake. Great. And then we would have had a peaceful exchange, and we would have been done. But that wasn't, this was this. This needed to happen. But this isn't the first time this has happened. And I don't need to drag laundry into here, but you need to understand something. Money has been raised for Amy on multiple occasions from multiple people, and I've been involved in every single one of them. Every single one of those fundraisers has gone through my PayPal. Every single one, and everyone will be able to tell you. And then that money was pulled and then reassigned to Amy and paid to Amy, along with all the taxes grossed up. So if we collected $500 and $250 was going to go to taxes, she got $500, which means $250 we pay taxes for. And we claim it on our taxes, and we claim it with our accountant. Right or wrong, Liv?
Yep.
Every time. Michelle, it's never personal. This job is difficult, and there's a lot of moving parts, and it's hard to see in chat. It's just miscommunication. But if you say that, I'm going to listen. But if you think that I'm unaware that I can be brash and be a dick, well, of course I know this. I'm very well aware of this. But I don't try to do it to you guys. And if I do, it's a mistake. Andrea Bill says, wish you success. Love the show. Thank you, Andrea. Love you. Listen, everybody's so positive. There's a couple people that are like, hey, you know what? This is crap. I can see both sides. This doesn't need to happen. But this isn't the first time this has happened.
No, if she had an issue, she should have come to us privately.
She left the moderator chat, 3 weeks ago? I left because I got sick of the infighting. And literally all it was bickering back and forth, and people were just going after each other. And I just said, fuck it, I'm out of here. I'm just not going to do this anymore. I don't want to read this stuff. So Olivia, right? I left.
Yep.
Well, so did she. So she left the chat. I think it's pretty shitty that when you come on, she leaves. There's a level of disrespect that's no longer... Respect has left the building.
So was she there until you said,
oh yeah.
Olivia's
I said,
on,
Olivia's here. This is going to get bad. And then she bailed.
Yeah, it's because she doesn't want to talk to me.
Well, I think she knows that you know all the things that I don't, because you were in both of those chats. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I think she's aware that you're going to kind of bring the pain.
Or I think she realizes that she crossed a line with how she was talking to you, and I wasn't going to stand for it.
Here's the thing. There is nothing to forgive for Amy in any way, shape, or form. But if there is, I've already moved on and forgiven her. But she'll never be a mod again for this channel. That's over. It's just over. Because honestly, the moderator position, although is nice, it's creating too many conflicts. And I think people are misconstruing what a moderator truly does. A moderator is not a marketing professional. It's not somebody who's out there working 8 hours a day, investing into marketing material or going out and posting and reposting and all that. It's a favor to come on in here and have a position that helps contribute to the show because you want to give. And I think this is what Amy said, but I don't want to misquote. But I can't give money, but oh yeah, she did say this. I don't give money as much, or I only give it as often as I can, but I give my time and help out moderating the show, and that's what I give back. And she's right. And that's an amazing thing. And I certainly appreciate it. But to pretend that somehow she's not getting something that was promised to her is false. It's not true. Because that was never agreed upon. And if Amy felt like, hey, Matt, do you think you're in a position where maybe you can give me $50 a week for the moderator position? And I think that's something we would entertain.
It would be.
But it's not enough. But either is the workload. Because it's not work. I'm sorry. It's a moderator position and they do a great job. But if you ask my moderators, they'll tell you there is not a whole lot to it.
No, it's monitoring. And we've got mods on each chat. So it's monitoring your chat that you're on. And just making sure we don't have any trolls. And then, maybe posting the donation link or the messenger link to get notifications about the show once or twice throughout the show. And then just go to all the other channels that you have and like and repost or share. And that's it. I mean, there's not much to it. And I can tell you that a lot of these channels, we really don't even get trolls. I mean, Facebook, we get the bots, but Rumble will get them. Every once in a while, we'll just get a crap ton on Rumble or a crap ton on YouTube, but it's few and far between. So, I don't
know. Matt has always been how he is. He's gotten better from the beginning. He's even admitted, I know I'm an ass bite too. We're all a little dickish. You know what?
Who said that?
That was Glenn. I don't know if I agree with that comment, but that's okay. I think you've made that comment before, and it never has really felt good to begin with. But it is what it is. If that's the way you feel, it's the way you feel. I don't think I'm an asshole. I think I can be an asshole, but I think there's a difference.
You've been an asshole on occasion, and everyone has, and majority of the time it's warranted. But I mean, you've been doing this for almost 5 years and dealing with trolls, and you know what? He's not perfect. He's a human. He can make mistakes and he can have his bad days, but this is his job. So even when he's having a bad day, he still has to come to work.
Yeah, still got to show up. It's interesting. Lance Anderson said, I had a bad experience once on your show with comments. It happens. So I have not been back for a couple of years. I find myself on this live, shaking my head, can't see it another way now. It's amazing, Lance. This doesn't happen much. But that is another thing is that there was a quite a long period of time that the moderator group would jump on anyone who disagreed and tear them apart. And just like piranha. And I had to put my foot down and tell them to stop. And there was times where I would get into it with trolls. It happened. Lance, you picked a bad night. We've been doing really well. But this is, sometimes you got to clean house. Sometimes you got to say, okay, let's get it all. Let's air it out. People are upset. They're frustrated. Mel, you should call in the one time.
Bobby, thank you. Never change. Matt and Olivia, love you both, or love you a lot. 7774. Thank you very much.
We love you, Bobby. Thank you very, very much. It's very kind of you. Living Patriot says a moderator moderates the show, so they are part of the show, and they should not argue with the owner of the show, especially if the host owner had given her money. Don't bite the hand that tries to help and feed you. That's my point. And it's not about being an owner of the show, because we don't treat it like that. We never have. It's about and it wasn't just me I was talking about. There's people here. You have no idea how many people have helped out Amy. And I feel for those people too, because not only they help out the show, they help out Amy too. And so it is what it is. Oh, see, here's Mel. All right, who's this?
Just told me to phone you. So
come on, man, talk me off the cliff, man. Talk me off the cliff, Mel. Come on, be my muse. Help me out. What am I missing?
I thought I was your muse.
You're my sex toy. Mel, what am I missing? Come on, Mel. Seriously, I want you. Yeah, you are the other wife. I want you to pull. I want you to pull off the Band-Aid. I want you to be serious. Let me have it. What do I need to know? And if I don't need to know anything, don't just say it to say it. Give it to me.
No, you have on several occasions, and that's what I think everybody likes about the show is it's not false. So we can all agree to disagree, and we've done it in chats. And yeah, you get annoyed at a lot of some of the things that we say because, yes, they're not in your scope at that point of time. But if people were more resilient or whatever and would call in to explain rather than playing the keyboard warrior and try to type out shit, because words work better than typing. So yeah, over the 5 years and close to that you've been on, and I've been here from pretty well almost the beginning when I stumbled on to you, and you've grown so much. Yes, you're not as combative as you were at the beginning, and you were very it's my way or the highway. You've actually gone and you listen now. Yes, you get pissed at whatever, and everybody's entitled to that opinion. And also the point that everybody should understand, it's your show. So if you disagree with whatever, and you're polite, which 99% of the time you are.
Fuck you, Mel.
The other, fuck me. When? Like,
whoa, hey.
100 years.
All right. So you got to come down from. I ain't going up there in Canada. So, all right.
Why not? So I have to come to your playground.
You have to the honor
anyway.
For the honor. So okay. So keep going. So, I got to ask a quick question and interrupt real quick. Deirdre, yeah. Can I say that what you just sent me? Because I'm getting texts left and right. Like the amount of support we're getting. I hope Amy's getting some support too. I really do. I hope there's people reaching out and saying, Amy, we love you. We care about you. Because I'm going to reach out.
Say it. It's for you.
Okay. It's for me. All right. So I won't say it, but go ahead.
If they text it to you, it's for you personally, not the show.
Okay. All right. Mel, go ahead.
Exactly. And as you know, and Amy knows, we've all tried to do whatever the minuscule amount that we can because of her situation. Yeah. My heart, like, it goes out, whatever. And then, but to come back and to kind of bite the head, like biting the head, like whatever. I know there's something else going on. And that's why I'm not criticizing or going to throw Amy under the bus. I love her dearly. I feel for her tremendously.
I do too.
I'm going to be in the same boat here probably shortly.
No, you're not.
Who knows? But yeah. Anyway, no, because that's not how I roll. But anyways,
you're gonna figure it out.
I'll figure it out.
Okay.
And it'll be good. And actually, my kids are like, it's about time. You're 70 years old. You got to retire. And I'm like, but I'm not 70. I'm only 29. Like, and they're like, so we're like minus years. I'm like, yeah, I know. They want me to slow down, back off, or whatever. I said, but no. I still have to survive. I still have to do whatever. And I understand where Amy's coming from. And I know how hard it is because this is not the first time and it won't be the last time that any of us lose our jobs and we have to figure out how to move forward. It's the survival of the fittest. And if you're not fit, well, then get out of the way and let's go. But no, Amy I love her dearly. And if she's listening, which I know she is somewhere, we all still have you. Like, we are all still in your court. Like, we're not, you're pissed at something, because she lashed out at me tonight on the whatever. And I'm like, it's all good. Like, do what you have to do. Because she's frustrated. I understand. It is what it is. But when it's show related, like you can't do that to the show. And that's where I kind of draw the line on all of this. It's like, she's done good things for the show. She's done some, some questionable. Like we all do.
Yeah.
But the show has been a learning experience for the 5 years for you, Olivia, Leroy. It has been. So everything like that happens, it's a learning experience. It's not, this is how it's going to be. Yeah, because that's the perception that I can see, and I hear like the weird comments, like whatever he's like projecting. I said, so we should, because it's a show. This is what he's trying to put forth, and if you don't have a hard stance or a hard like whatever, then there's no reason to have the show. Because if you're going to be a whiffly waffler, like whatever, so like the Bennies
Whiffly
and the
waffler?
Whistly waffler? Hold on a second. I got to take this into my vocabulary. Whistly waffler. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
I said, but the show is not. Like, that's what you've kept the show not to be. Well, and I call the whiffly waffler. It's like, well, the persuasion of the day is, well, the cloud is over here, so we're going to play on this fence. And then the next day it's like, oh, well, the fence is moving over here, so we're going to play that. That's what I call the whiffly waffler. I said, this show has never been that way. Right. This show has been from the get-go, and that's why this gay North Dakota, like whatever, stayed with whatever. Yeah, I've been in and out, like what, but kept coming back to it because I'm like, I like the truth. I like somebody who has unfiltered truth. Like, don't give me bullshit, and that's because of my military background. And I'm going to just say that, whatever. I said, I told my kids and my whatever's my unders, like, if you have a problem or you get into shit, don't lie to me.
Right.
Just give me the straight truth. We'll figure it out, and we'll go from there, and we'll give you the best or least punishment or whatever, but don't lie to me, because you lie to me, I'm not going to back you at all.
We're toast.
You've just burnt me. So that's why I've stuck with you and the show and believe in what you're doing, as, even your, the thing today on that other network, which was good. I'm like, it's great. So you're getting out there because you speak the truth. And sometimes the truth hurts. And if you can't accept the truth, then you may have to look back in the mirror and go, where in the hell did I fail? So I'm just saying, in this whole conflict, this shit show that's going on right now, which, yes, has now finally come to a head.
Yeah, we knew it was, because I warned you 2 weeks ago it was, and I warned everybody who were very close to the show that this was coming. And I recognized it when she went after me, because I tried to show a little love and caring, and I got confused and ADHD kicked in. And not to make that excuse, but I said son instead of husband, but we were talking about her son being stuck. And I just mixed up a friend from Texas, and I crossed the streams, man. And I didn't deserve it then, and you didn't deserve it tonight, and I didn't fucking deserve it tonight, and I don't care. It doesn't sound like she's doing well. These behaviors that I'm hearing are not Amy, and I am worried that there's another influence involved here. That has been a struggle for Ames, and I don't want to add to that confliction. I don't want to make her feel unappreciated. I don't want to make her feel bad. I've removed her as a moderator. I'm just going to be completely transparent. You can't walk that back. You can't say the things you said and have me expect to trust our entire company with delete access on our social media. You just can't. You can't.
Well, trust is earned. It's not owed.
Right. And
I understand, like, when she was saying, like, I've been like whatever. I'm like, yes, Ames, you've done the shoulder share of all, like, the moderate, like at the very beginning and whatever, and then we brought in, because of all the now different platforms, whatever, and got different whatever. But I'm sensing and I feel that because there's other moderators on different of the platforms, she feels, what's the good word? She doesn't want to be replaced.
She never would have been.
Lose her job.
She never. First of all, but Mel, do you understand that it's not a job? And second of all,
I know it,
but you know what I'm saying. If she could just wait and hold on a little bit, things are getting. We got our monetization back on Facebook a month ago, and we're slowly starting to build it up. But you got to listen. Everyone thinks that, $8,000 a month or $5,000 a month is gonna. They have no concept how expensive this show is to run. It's not cheap. It's not easy. There's advertising to do. There's streaming costs to pay. There's equipment to pay. There's so many different variables, the taxes, the clothing purchases, just the ups and downs and the ebbs and flows of the business. And to say that we went out to dinner and had a steak, Olivia, how many times have we went out to dinner in the last 2 years? Can you count it on one hand?
Yes. Yeah, we went out to a nice dinner after Christmas because the family that I nanny for got us, or me, actually got the entire family a gift certificate to a very nice restaurant for Christmas.
Exactly.
And we had steak on Christmas because Mel got us steaks. And then never did it again.
No, that was last Christmas. Christmas isn't here yet.
Yeah,
so
but
I may be
I'll be Jewish. Whatever. Happy Kwanzaa.
Happy Kwanzaa. Yeah. Well, but no, it was a gesture. It was like, Merry Christmas. Thank you for what you do.
I know we love you.
I appreciate you. I love you guys. And
love you too. Thanks for talking me off the cliff.
Have a dinner.
Listen, the last thing I'm going to say about this is I want everyone to know, okay? And with all the love in my heart, I am disbanding the entire moderator group. And it has nothing to do with anyone else other than I don't want this feeling to feel like people are owed something that we've never promised. This is not a paid position. This is literally a volunteer position for you to see someone who spams and make a judgment call to ban them. You're not required to be here. Nobody has ever been. In fact, I've never said, damn it, Amy's not here. Those words have never, unless I'm trying to ban someone and I can't ban them myself. But it's never been a guilt trip. It's never been, you have to be here. The amount of work that Mel, will you please tell them the amount of work that moderators do? It's a ludicrous statement to say that this is a job, because it's not a job.
No, but and that's why in this situation, like your whatever, everybody who volunteered, and that's what it was a volunteer to say, okay, well, I'll go on this site, because as you were expanding to YouTube, Rumble, whatever, somebody said, okay, well, I prefer to be on that platform. I'll monitor and make sure that, we don't have the spammers and the blah, whatever, to distract from the whatever. It was volunteer. Everybody who volunteered to be air fingers quote moderator, it was volunteer. Right. Like Kevin is like outstanding. Like because he loves you guys and the show, he makes sure, and that's what it was all about. It's not that anybody was getting paid or getting kickbacks or getting anything. There was nothing, and there was no perception of anybody getting any preferential kickbacks, free coffee, T-shirts, blah, whatever, from the Down on Friendly show, because that's what you get as a moderator. Well, no, that's not been a thing. It never would be a thing. Nobody who volunteered.
Did we lose Mel?
I don't know, but I have to. I gotta go use the ladies' room, so I'm gonna
go use the ladies' room.
Go.
Thanks.
I'm gonna put this donation in before I go. Though.
All right. So I think we lost.
You,
I think we lost Mel.
Frank. I've learned so much from the dumb show. Tough night, but we are family. Thanks for what you do. Thank you very much, Frank. And I will see y'all tomorrow.
Yeah.
Love y'all.
Can we move Mel across the border? We should. She's amazing. Listen, I think at this point, I've said all that I want to say about this. Mel tried to call back. I don't think there's really anything else that needs to be said. Keep trying with Amy, will you? Liv? So, there's Mel. Okay, you hung up. I mean, geez.
No, you hung up.
I
know you hung up. You just didn't want to hear what I had to say. No.
Listen, is this
ding, ding.
Is this going to be recoverable? Yeah. I mean, do you think this is something that how does that happen? Because I'm concerned, but I don't think this had. Listen, can I just ask a straight up question and just give me the answer? And if there's anyone on who knows, did it sound like she was drinking?
No.
I've talked to Amy a lot, and she didn't sound like her normal self.
No.
Okay.
She's not, and that's why I'm with the deterioration of the comments and whatever. I'm hoping she's not sliding back into the old habits.
That's what I was saying. I'm really hoping, but that doesn't sound like Amy. She's never lashed out like that. You guys take a pee break. That's fine.
Yeah.
Mel,
there's something off, and she's not reaching out because she usually does kind of sort of, but lately it's been crickets, and then tonight's back like.
Did tonight make any sense to you? I mean, did it make any sense to you at all?
No, it's not the Amy of 6 months ago. So there's something in between, and we had that discussion on our other conversation. And I'm like, no, to me, there's something else going on wrong.
I haven't had anyone talk to me like that in a long time.
Yeah.
And it didn't go too well the last time someone decided to talk to me like that. And I didn't know how else to handle it other than to put my foot down and get through whatever fog she's under and say, you're crossing a line, knock it off. And it was stern. I didn't try to scream. I didn't try to yell. I didn't try to be threatening, but I just wanted it. I wanted it to stop. Listen, I'm getting a lot of text messages of support, and I'm getting a lot of people coming out of the woodwork and telling me bad things. Okay. Let me explain something. And now this is okay. Mel, you got to hear this. Okay. This is where you guys might get upset with me, but I'm fair. I don't appreciate people speaking bad about Amy to me because they now have an opportunity to do so. You should have come to me beforehand if there was a problem.
Exactly.
If there were things that you saw, you should have come to me a long time ago. Not tonight. It's not game up on Amy time.
No,
because I didn't like it when it just happened to me, and I certainly don't like it that people are doing it to her. I know the problems that Amy's had, and I know, but those are my personal stories with her. But I'm also not going to let her. I'm not going to let her do that to me. I'm just not going to let her do it. You're not going to try to disparage me in chat and treat me like I'm your problem. It's just not going to happen. I'm not anybody's kicking boy. And if I've done something wrong, I'll own it. But you got to be able to explain it to me. And all she had to say was, here's that. But she couldn't tell me the time. There was no time. There was no situation where I wouldn't listen to somebody. I will listen if it's based on reality.
And that's true. And there's been several of us old timers, and I air fingers quote that we've had going and disagreements. We agree to disagree, going, well, I'm not too whatever. And then you'll eventually come back down the road that was maybe not that night or whatever. And, JD can say it, Tuner can say it, Frank, all of us. Even poor Santa, who's no longer whatever.
Yeah.
We all have our disagreements and going, not whatever. But then you bring facts back. So all of us go, okay.
But this is deep seated.
But
right?
we can agree to disagree.
But this isn't this is deep seated. She's carrying a lot of animosity towards this show.
Yeah, for what reason I'm not too sure.
Well, because I mean, listen, this is the best way that I can describe it. If you weren't here carrying the loads when we couldn't pay our bills, and still kept the show alive without asking for $1, if you weren't here during the times where they took away our monthly income from Facebook, if you weren't here when we got ripped off from that other content provider. If you weren't here when I lost my job at Valor and lost $150,000 a year, if you weren't here when I lost my job at the other Valor, and you didn't have to take responsibility to make up for those, then you don't get to necessarily comment on when things are starting to finally level out and get better. It's just not fair. It's not fair at all. And it's just to pretend to want to have someone have success, and then when they start getting successful, literally attack them for it, because the only conviction I heard in her voice was that we're making money. And that's just so blatantly unfair. It's
and that's for the first time tonight, like when she did call for the brief whatever, I heard that and I went, so you're now disparaged, you're cutting off your face or cutting off your nose to spite your face.
Right.
Like, wow. I said, and that's when I went back and went, we've all in this whole dumb nation, whether you know how much any of us dummies have gone and, the others have come out going, well, I sent this and I did that, whatever. And in our conversation, I told you what I have done, but had to stop because, my situation. So I'm like, you needed it. You have a son, and I'm not too sure about that situation. And that's never been explained. Like, why can't you leave where you are so there's other underlying things that I don't know about, but I'm like, you're not going to starve to death. I don't want you to freeze to death. I researched getting propane delivered to the trailer. Like, I've done stuff from Gay, North Dakota, to try to get, I love Amy. She's been a friend from the very beginning, but in the last, and then tonight, I'm like, no, so why is my opinion wrong? No, you're basing it off something I don't know.
Tonight was the first night that Amy truly, in my opinion, used race as the excuse for what took place. And to me, that doesn't make any sense.
It makes no sense.
It doesn't. Now that cop, did he go way overboard? Sure. Should he be reprimanded? Oh yeah, dude. You don't hit somebody who's in their seat. But to say he passively resists is very similar to what we were talking about earlier with illegal immigrant. The immigrant doesn't need to be on the word. It's illegal. And if somebody's resisting, it doesn't matter whether they're passively resisting or they're out of their mind. They're still resisting, and that's it.
Exactly. You don't put any resisting. Period. End of story. There is no such thing as passive or aggressive. That only adds to the charges. But resisting is the word. That's the only word. Yeah. He was resisting. And I watched all those videos before you guys showed them tonight or whatever. I saw that a few days ago, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, well, that's not going to go well with the smacking and the whatever. But the other part, they're not wrong.
They have a right to pull him out of the car. And that's not a once they pull, I think Tina will tell you, once they pull them out of the car, it's kind of all gloves are off. You do whatever you can to get them out. And I've seen people take nightsticks to people's wrists when they're holding onto the wheel. I mean, once they won't come out of the car, I think you have full justification to get them out in any way, shape, or form. And whether it's tasing them or whether it's spraying them with mace, I don't know if hitting in the face is the best thing to do, but I'll tell you what, a rap across the beak will kind of make somebody comply real quick. I don't care and I don't know, but all I'm saying is that there was no reason to resist
None.
None.
Apply, get your ticket, go to court.
Yeah.
Plead your case, whatever. And that's the whole crux of all of these videos and all this and vehicle people, whatever. And you see them all the time, the drunken females and the drunken, like whatever, the whatever. And they fight, they scream, they do whatever, fight, spit, whatever. Like, no, you get everything you deserve. Because the thing is, if you would have just done what you're told, driver's license, registration, pass it out the window, get your ticket, show up in court, plead your case, and let the judge decide whether you are guilty or not guilty. Because they all have body cams. So you just say, this is what we did, this is how this went. Yeah, it may go not to the cop's favor, it may not go to the defendant's favor, but that's what the courts are for.
Yep.
The
courts, not the street.
Yeah, not the street. So stop this, whatever.
Yeah.
Air fingers, quote, passive.
Oh yeah, passive resist.
There is no
slipping.
passive.
Yeah, slipping a note in between the window and not opening. Just fucking comply.
Exactly.
All right, I love you. I'm gonna let you go. This has been the longest 3-hour show I've ever done in my life. I was up at the butt crack this morning, and I'm gonna put a bow on this, and then we're gonna get the fuck out of here because I need a break. So thank you for. I
just want to say that Matt and a lot of us in the audience have agreed to disagree and have come to, okay, compromise, whatever, going, okay, and then go do some more research. And eventually, yes, what you have said may or may not have really come true. I'm just joking. But It makes people think. That was what the whole intention when I started watching 5 years ago. It was like, make people think, make people research, make people do their own homework and come to realistic, not propaganda. And that was the whole premise of what I got out at the very beginning of the show. It wasn't propaganda. It was like, here's the facts, nothing but the facts. And if you don't like whatever, challenge the facts, come up with your alternative, but I'll guarantee you it ain't going to work. And that's my takeaway from the 5 years and whatever that you guys have been on. And I followed you and whatever. And I love you guys. And we do disagree as much as most of some of the audience go, well, you're a gate, nor Godin always agrees with you. I said, no, not always. And I always ask the other questions, and you always come up with the answers and whatever. I said, okay. And then I go back and go, okay.
Or
you're not wrong there.
Or I am.
So
here's the last thing. Go ahead.
Yeah, Mel, you're full of shit, and I'm going to hang up on you. So it's all good.
That sounds nice. Love you, Mel. Talk to you.
I love you.
All right, bye. Listen, I'm just going to put a bow on this shit, and then I'm done. I'm jumping. I appreciate everybody calling and trying to, I don't know, just settle the waters. I want to be completely clear. I am not a vindictive person. I don't hold grudges. I remember everything. And that's it. I remember everything. And if somebody says or does something that I don't appreciate, I'm going to tell them. And they have a right to tell me. And I encourage anyone who has an issue with the show or what we do or how we run our business to let me know. Just tell me. But I don't like ganging up on people. And I didn't like it when we would do it to the trolls, and I don't like it when we do it to people who are just have a difference of opinion. Like Joyce is a great example. She didn't like Youngkin, or likes Youngkin, but doesn't see him as president. Okay, great. She can have that opinion. Amy can also have an opinion about the police, but what bothered me was, like, if I find someone to be misogynistic who disrespects women and who looks down on women, I'm not going to go to that person as a woman and get, like, I'm not going to go ask a fourth and third wave feminist, ask their opinion on something if they hate men. But why would I? So my question is, why are you listening to that person who you told me you didn't like on the show and who you won't listen to anymore because they're a misogynist pig? And why are you listening to their opinion when their opinion is that cops are predominantly outside the law and don't know what they're doing, and they're all stupid and everything else. I don't understand it. And that was immediately, hey, you never listen to anyone with a different opinion. That's not true. I just had a conversation with T.S. Dixon for 3.5 hours where we didn't agree with everything. I just went on a show on RSBN where I was asked certain questions and I didn't agree with some of the things that were being said earlier, or maybe he didn't agree with me. Leroy and Olivia and Amy and I have a conversation all the time where we don't agree with each other. Hell, Mel busts my balls half the time. Everyone does. And if I had to dislike every single person who disagreed with me, then we wouldn't have a relationship. But please understand that I'm not always at my best. And there may be a day that I'm having a bad day. I get to have a bad day once in a while. And maybe you just come in at the wrong time. Today was not that day. I felt so excited to be on that show and talk about the show and represent everybody. And it felt really good. This is not the day. It didn't start the way it ended. Or it didn't end the way it started. It was a very good day. And, it's a shame. Like, I will just make it very, very clear. Like I said before, the moderators are going to be myself and Olivia, and that's the way it's going to be for a while. And it has nothing to do with anybody. Nobody's being punished. It's just too much drama. It's just too much drama. We are not a company that has multiple employees like that. We don't need it. Nobody's an employee here. Nobody. Leroy's not an employee. Amy's not an employee. Nobody's an employee. They come here because they love a vision. And they participate because they love doing it. Don't unfriend me, Matt. I'm not the problem, Glenn. I don't defriend people. I'm not the one who defriends people. I'm not the one that decides to give up. I'm not the one that says, screw it. In fact, I've blocked people, but I've never blocked Kyrie. He's still here. I never blocked Washington or Jeffrey, whatever his name was. Never blocked him. I think I've blocked, maybe 5 people who've been in the chat because they're incessant trolling, or they constantly downvote stuff on YouTube, or they downvote with sad faces on Facebook to impact the site. And then I say, screw that. I'm not going to do that. And Matt, there was one time I suggested we agree to disagree, but you said you couldn't. It was a very bad day for you. No, I don't see, Elizabeth. I think that's a misunderstanding. It's not that I couldn't agree to disagree. I don't agree to disagree because I wasn't wrong. And I'm not going to agree to disagree because there's a difference between facts and emotions. And if you're working in fact and you're not emotional about the subject, and facts are provable and they're right, then there is no reason to agree to disagree. That's all. You know what I mean? Don't take Amy B's wrench. I think Amy is still there. Yeah. Listen. Okay. Thanks, Glenn. I just don't know what to think anymore, to be honest with you. I don't know who's okay, who's not. Amy B needs her wrench. I'm not punishing anybody. I am just reassessing the moderator program because I think, honestly, it does more harm than good right now. I only need 8 figures and I'll moderate with a smile. Okay, me too. That'd be nice. It was strange to see Amy talk and react the way she did. We're all going through something more than others, but it doesn't give us an excuse to lash out against people, especially ones that have helped you. Yeah, but see, Jen, any help that's been provided isn't going to be thrown in somebody's face unless they make a claim that person is. She said that I've said the word that I'm broke. That's a complete lie. That is a complete misrepresentation. I have never even implied that. I've said we've had tough months. January, February, March are usually the tough months. They weren't. It was actually June, July, not July. May and June were our tough months this year. But that's it. That doesn't mean we're broke. It means that it's tough. When we're on a show and we're broadcasting for 3 hours and you make $150, well, the show costs more than that to put on. That's hard, right? Now, a corporate show like on the Daily Wire, they don't have to worry about that because he gets made $10 million a year. So if his show, is on for 3 hours or for 1 hour, it doesn't matter, even though they have that in their contract. I don't have that. And whatever Wimkin pays me to represent their company. And that has nothing to do with anybody's donations. But I will tell you this, the donations are completely separate from our personal expenditures than Wimkin, than our ad revenue from social medias and Olivia's. And that takes care of our bills, our food, our dinners, unless it's a company expense, our car payment, our house payment, our insurance, the kids' clothes. Donations don't touch that. It's in a completely separate account. So people need to understand that there's business account and then there's my household account. And we pay ourselves a certain amount of money for what we do with the show. And this is nobody's business, but it doesn't matter. I've got nothing to hide. What frustrates me is when somebody says, hey, you're doing well in life, and because I'm not, you're the reason. It's unacceptable to me. Yeah, I get you, Jen. I understand. Elizabeth, you never said you were broke, but said it was getting difficult. That doesn't mean broke. It is getting difficult. It's difficult to do. There were times in the past where, especially when we were doing the rebuild, that it got real tough. Because what happened is that people were saving up for the 20K show and donations weren't coming in. And this was not just me who said this. It was multiple people who, I mean, Chuck said this, Mel said this. Everyone tries to help with the donations. And then once the show was built, it was like, well, you just got $20,000 for the show. And that's not what happened. We built the entire set. So that money was in and out the door. And what Chuck's point and other people's points is that if you hold for donations that usually provide, business expenses, then that's going to have to rob Peter to pay Paul. That is tough. And that does make it hard. You got to understand. I mean, you guys saw the work. It was 14, 15-hour days working on this thing by myself. Getting the kids in the weekend and Olivia on the weekend to help out. But they're also exhausted because they're going to school and they're working. So it fell on me. It was a lot of work. And it makes it hard to produce for shows. And I couldn't do reels and I couldn't do articles. And all those things impact the overall revenue. So it got tough. But tough is not broke. And I've said many times, hey, we're going to be fine. So I want to be, it's important to be honest. All right. Yeah, the studio was immensely crazy, but it paid off and people love it. Listen. Tom Shin says, the show's the best on the internet. I've been a follower for a long time, and I see that it's just getting better all the time. Yeah, but what sucks is we shouldn't have people who are unhappy. Shouldn't be happy. Like, to be honest with you, everything Amy said, I can't say it any more than this. It didn't bother me, except for when she cussed at me and raised her voice at me. Then I was like, no, you're not going to fucking do that to me. But what she said wasn't accurate, so I don't care. It does not. It's already over because I don't believe it was directed at me. And that's why I said it. Who are you mad at? I don't believe it's me. And she's like, yeah, I'm mad at, a lot of stuff. Okay, that's fine. That makes sense. You lash out at your family. You lash out at people you don't care about. But what upsets me even more, or what truly upsets me, is Michelle Lionberger. Like that bothers the shit out of me. And there are times when, you're doing this job and you see somebody write a comment and it just snowballs and it gets worse. And you want to try to put the shit back in the horse and you want to try to make it better, but you don't know how because you're trying to scramble. So you say something and it's short and it's not what you wanted to convey, but you don't have the time to sit here and stop the show and do what we're doing right now because then the entire show gets taken over. You know what I mean? So with Michelle, it was more like, you've been a jerk. Fuck. Well, that makes me feel bad. Like that one makes me feel bad because I believe her. If she says that I am, then I am. And it's my job to somehow repair. So here it is. I apologize. I don't even remember what we argued about. It was something stupid. It was just like with Amy and I. But if that's the feeling, then I'm sorry. But I'm not sorry for someone cussing at me and screaming at me. I'm not sorry for that. Okay. Okay. All right, so we'll figure it out. Tomorrow, it'll be Olivia, myself, and Amy will be in the house. I want to say thank you, as always, for the people who donated. It means a great deal. It helps. I want to also say we are not broke. The house is okay. The job is okay. Olivia's doing well. I'm doing well. Everyone's great. It helps. If everyone helps pitch in, we hit our goal. We continue the show, and this is the way it is. But please don't make any mistake. This is a job. This is a job. And I wish it was a charity, and I wish I could make it a charity, but it's not a charity. This is a livelihood. This is my job. This is what I do for a living. And until somebody wants to come in and supplement the show and have advertisers come in and a gold bearer come in here and pick up the show, then this is what we've got. And this is how we make a living. And I'm not going to apologize for that. I work hard, and I appreciate the people who help. Jared says, it's definitely very easy to get your show hijacked. I've been doing some TikTok lives, and you let people just go on, then can get away from your main topics. Thank you, Jared. It's just what I needed tonight with some feedback, though. I'll file that away in a proper spot, man. Tonight's not the night, dude. Guys, the biggest thing you can do is share out the show and share out a post to get the show more exposure to help the show go viral. But this explains why no other host reads comments, let alone responds to them. Yeah, that's the other thing. With respect, Jared, when you have my size of my audience, you can compare. But until then, you don't. I don't know if you read comments live. I'll go join one of your lives and let's see how it goes. You're right to rethink how to run your show, Matt. Go get some rest. We love you in the show. All right, everybody. Thanks for the comments. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you guys soon, and we'll figure everything out. See you guys tomorrow at 7 o'clock, and we'll have a recorded show in the morning. Thanks, everybody, for watching. I appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon. Sorry that we didn't get to a lot of topics. We'll get to them tomorrow, I promise you. Have a good one. Good night.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.